Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor, the voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time, and SpongeBob SquarePants. Meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned, my friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Okay, we are live for a special 3-hour event. This is going to be absolutely insane. We have a whole ton of guests that are going to be on. And all thanks to these two awesome people here.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
It's us. And we are very excited to bring you this live episode of The Dorkening, presented by Throwdown Thursday, presented by Leo, being just a stand-up class act dude, because he is volunteering so much of his time this evening. So we just want to raise a glass to Leo. Leo.
Aw, thank you.
And that's strong. We have a phenomenal show for you guys tonight.
I'm so excited. So excited.
We are going to be talking to the cast and crew of the upcoming horror dark comedy slasher Axe2Grind, which is the sequel to Axe2Grind, but I think they did a very clever thing.
That's brilliant.
Yes,
absolutely brilliant.
With the Axe 2. I keep almost saying the letter 2. It's not the letter 2. There is no letter 2.
See, there's these things called letters and these things called numbers. What you're trying to think of is the number 2. Patsy's learning new things every day.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what I'd like you guys to do, which would be totally awesome. Let's introduce our awesome guests. Who would you like to start with?
Let's start. Do we still have the same 3 folks that were in the chat prior? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we have 4 now. Awesome. So I'm going to go with the order in which they appeared. I'm going to start with the star of both Axe2Grind and Axe2Grind, the phenomenal Debbie Rochon. She'll kill you 5 times before you hit the ground. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Oh, we might have lost Debbie's audio.
Oh,
I need to pop off in a second so I can find a cable so she can give us a call.
I just texted her your number.
Okay, well, I need a cable to connect it into the. You know what? I'm gonna let you run this for a minute. I'll be right back.
Oh boy, letting me run it.
We're all doomed. Doomed.
Yeah, Q Ralph from Friday the 13th. So we have Debbie, and I guess we have a bad connection there with Debbie, but that's okay. We will come back to her. Next up is the amazing Jessica Snyder, who you do some amazing photo shoots and modeling. Like, you do some awesome stuff, Jess. Oh no, is Jess frozen too? Oh, we are doing well so far. Next up, then, we have Erin Marie Garrett, who is going to be playing a very pivotal role in the upcoming sequel. Erin, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, good. I'm glad everybody. Oh, Jess, you're back. Okay, thank you. Jess, thanks for joining us today. This is your first feature, is it not? Oh no, Jess can't hear us. Oh, this is not cool. Jess, if you can hear us, reload your browser. Susie Lorraine, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh man. Oh, see, and we're running this through Leo's equipment because his is way better than mine. Yes, thank you so much for joining us, as well as Erin and Jessica and Debbie. I'm very excited to chat with all of you guys about the movie, and let's just get right into the discussion about this. So, first question I have, Jess, can you still hear us or no? I don't think Jess can hear me. Oh, I don't know what happened. Hold on, let me try and message her. But so you guys were approached for this sequel. What? We'll start with you, Erin. What was the thing that drew you to this project?
Well, honestly, I worked on a film called The Harrowing a while back, and originally Debbie was supposed to be a part of it. And when I heard her name attached to it, it kind of got me excited. And there's a couple of producers that I've worked with before on other projects that are moving over onto this one. So kind of a family feel for me. And I really, this genre is just so much fun. There's so many interesting things you can do with the action and with the plot, and it's just a lot of fun to watch. I feel like horror and thriller movies just really get a better crowd than standard film does. So it was just mostly fun for me, to be honest.
Susie, how about you?
Well, it was just a great opportunity to work with Scott Sanford again, who I've been friends with for ages. And we worked on our last project in, I think it was 2016, Last Revenants. And also just to work with all of the great actresses that are attached to the movie thus far. And certainly Debbie, Rochon, and I have a great history together, probably about easily seven movies over the past decade or so. So I'm looking forward to working with her and everyone, really. We're still in the infancy of the project, but I know things are gonna gear up, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of you.
Awesome. Jess, can you hear us now? Jess still can't hear us.
A little bit better, yeah.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Sorry, I was having glitches.
Good. Oh, thank you. Okay, good. Sorry, so the question that I've posed so far is, what kind of drew you to this project and made you want to do this?
Uh-oh, there it goes again.
No, that's not good.
Just a heads up, I did get the phone connected so that if we hear it ring through the mixer, that's going to be Debbie calling. So I got everything all set up so she can give us a call. And if anybody else needs to call as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jess doesn't seem like the.
Oh, I think we lost your volume, Jess. Can you hear us?
I think there might be a delay as well.
Yeah.
Barely.
Okay. I'd say Google Chrome may be your best bet if you're.
I'm gonna try again.
All right, she's gonna try again, I guess.
Okay.
All right, so Erin and Susie, you guys are, you're veterans. You've been doing a lot of stuff, whether it's modeling or films. How would you approach a film like this, knowing that there's going to be a lot of blood and guts and gore and brutal violence? Is there a specific mindset that you have to get into in order to kind of encapsulate that character, or is it more just okay, I can flip a switch and just that's how I can get into my character? Susie, I'll start with you.
I think it totally depends on the character that I'm playing. I haven't seen the script yet, so I'm not sure exactly what kind of character I'm going to be playing. So yeah, it totally depends. I mean, having had a history in horror movies, I'm pretty well prepared for any type of role. But I definitely prefer to play a more malevolent character as opposed to a victim, because I've done the victim stuff so many times, and I think it's just more empowering and more fun to play a strong character, or maybe even a one of the antagonists. But in terms of preparation, yeah, it varies widely. Depending, and I just once I get the script, then I'll take it from there and just start memorizing the dialogue first, and then just really trying to understand the character's motivation and take it from there. But it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, because we have worked with a lot of us have worked together before, so I know it's going to be a good crowd. There's not really a fear of the unknown as there can be with some indie films.
Erin, same question to you. How are you approaching the preparation for this?
Well, I really love Susie's answer. I'm honestly looking forward to meeting all of the people that are going to be a part of this. I think there's a lot of really huge talent that we've got attached to this, and I'm super excited to work with Scott. And Susie hit it right on the nose. I think until you really get, a handle on what you're going to be doing and what, the director wants you to do, it's a little hard to figure it out. But myself, I prefer to go the method route. I've gotten many cuts and scars and bruises on set, and it's just kind of like your little token that you take away with you. But, I think that this is, like we said before, it's going to be a lot of fun. I really enjoy, being able to be a part of this world. It gives you a chance to be, somebody that you're not every day. And that's what really draws me as an actor. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how we're pitted against each other for our characters. And I'm looking forward to that for sure.
So when you look at this type of role, like Susie was saying, is there a different approach when it comes to being a victim and being an antagonist? Or do you kind of basically what I'm asking is, what is your acting style? Is there a type of, headspace that you have to get into when you're like, okay, I'm on set, no matter what the character is, I can roll with it. Or if it's like, okay, there's, a certain nuance to this character that is different from, if I'm going to be playing a victim, I have to run around and hype myself up and, try and be as frightened as I can. Or if I'm going to be a killer, I'm going to be listening to death metal and pounding energy drinks. Is there different prep for different roles? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, as Susie put, she's played the victim before, and I'm actually a natural blonde, and I went dark a couple of years ago for a vampire role and never looked back. You definitely have to switch your feel, switch your look, switch your mindset, and, kind of get into the head of that character to be able to portray it. You have to be able to sell it on camera, I mean, that's really what we are. We're all just really good salesmen. And if you can't sell it, the audience isn't going to believe it. But, I think everybody has their process that they go through to make that character come to life. Like you said, if it's you, maybe you listen to death metal, maybe you're eating and drinking certain things, or maybe you're, reading certain books or doing things, during your daily routine to get you there. I really rely on my fellow actors and the director to really pull me there. I've actually had somebody to hit me before prior to shooting a scene, just to kind of get me into that mode of, violence. And I also like to take a moment to myself to kind of, pull out the parts that I need. I've been really blessed to work with a lot of really amazing actors and amazing directors who, they see it as a team effort. And that's really important to me, so that everything runs smoothly, and that, at the end of the day, everybody's doing a job. We're all trying to make something, creative happen, but it is work. It's long hours, it's long nights, and everybody's working, and you want to make sure that everybody's getting what they need and that nobody feels like they've been used. Everybody's getting, what they enjoy out of it. Even though it is a job, it's still, it's a passion process for sure.
So yeah, Susie, same question back to you.
Yeah, I think Erin summed that up really well, and I agree with everything she said. It depends, like the preparation. Once I know what character it is, then I can take it from there. But I can't overestimate the importance of the teamwork, of being able to work with your fellow actors and the director and producer, and also rehearsal, if possible, is super helpful. Sometimes, I know that sounds funny, but on some low budget indie films, time is so precious that I want to say more than half of the time you don't rehearse, you just shoot. They'll shoot on rehearsal. And so you really have to bring your A game and come as prepared as possible beforehand, anticipating that maybe that might be the case for some or most of the film. But I think it's really helpful when you're playing a character that is so different from yourself to have that rehearsal time to feel comfortable and get into their skin. Like when I worked with Debbie on Model Hunger, she was the director, and our
now we're losing Susie.
Helped me so much, and she's an actor as well as a director to me what she wanted to see in this character. So that was process.
Speaking of Debbie, she should be on the line now. Debbie, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I'm on the line, and I came in just in time, dear Susie, being so kind and awesome. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Debbie.
That's awesome.
It's been a long time.
Rehearsals. I know, it's been way too long. Way too long.
Yep.
So we want to let everybody know we are talking about Axe2Grind, and the cool thing is the Indiegogo went live either today or yesterday, right?
Today at noon.
Today at noon. So if you saw the first one, and why didn't you, and love it like we do, check the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And you have a link to the Indiegogo where you can support the sequel, so we can make sure that this gets to everybody.
And don't forget, like, if you haven't seen the first one. Like Ashes and I hadn't seen the first one, but we were able to watch it last night. It is streaming on Amazon Prime. I know pretty much everybody has an Amazon Prime account, so go watch it there. So Debbie, we've been talking a little bit about the process for getting into roles and getting into character, and talking to you, leading up to the show, talking off air a little bit, and the exchanges that we've had. You are a delightful human being. How do you go from that to Debbie Wilkins? What's the type of process that you go through in order to get into Debbie Wilkins' head?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Okay, first of all, real quick, I have to say that what Susie was explaining about rehearsal and bringing your A game is exactly on point. And you really rarely, if ever, maybe in a blocking rehearsal that's more for camera or lighting or sound, will you ever get a rehearsal. So that will be the closest thing you'll get quite often. So what I find is I am just so deeply into it because I can't afford not to be, because who knows what take they're going to take and use. So I really try my best to just constantly, while I'm there, stay in character, even if it means people think you're really fucking weird and bizarre and a complete asshole. That's okay, because at the end of the day, the movie is the only thing that matters. The character is your job. It's on your shoulders. You have to do it. So people could just walk away and either, in other words, the artists will get it. The people who really aren't insanely trained, perhaps, if they don't know anything about any kind of process, might not get it, and they'll think, what an asshole. But it's imperative for the movie, because you don't have, like what Susie was saying, you don't have all this time and space and rehearsal and trailers and stuff to go away and get into character and come out and have that sort of like really super supportive mechanism. So you have to build it yourself. You have to just come out there wherever you're going to shoot, and you're pretty much in character or halfway there when you step off the plane, and you go and you just go and you leave everything behind. Like you put it all on the table, and whatever anybody thinks, with any luck, and I've always said this, with any luck, people will understand you when they see the movie. And then you're very, very nice when they meet you afterwards, you know, and they see the movie and they see what's on the screen. And then with any luck at all, they'll understand.
I think that was a phenomenal answer. Oh, look like Jess is back.
Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Oh, you sound amazing.
I am back. We figured it out. Problem solved.
Yay!
Was it changing the shirt that did it?
No, but I figured I might as well do it anyways. I was over my nerdiness for the moment.
Oh, well, you're in the wrong place then, lady. Susie, you got some folks. Susie's got some visitors. I don't know if she's being haunted or... Oh, somebody took her. Somebody took her phone, and everybody's waving and laughing. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's
I guess.
Oh,
It's so fun.
That was a lot of fun, Susie. Hi, kids. So, Jeff, we'll start with you with a couple of questions because everyone else has had the opportunity. It's your first film. Like, you haven't done a film before. You've done a lot of modeling.
I have never done anything like this. This is all brand new to me. So this is a wonderful opportunity. I cannot wait to do this project. I am ecstatic.
Yeah, some of the stuff that we've been chatting about, like, you were just like you're over the moon. You're so excited. Like, I can get that through your chat. Except for that one time when I was like really confused, and I was like, oh, that was sarcasm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not excited about this at all. I'm like, is it something about the show?
No, not at all.
And you're like, no, I was being sarcastic. I'm like, right, text. No
context there. Sorry.
So how did you learn about this project then, seeing as you haven't acted before, but I know you've modeled? How did you get involved with this?
Actually, my buddy Spencer Gray, he just kind of hit me up one day, and it was actually just a couple of days before my birthday. I just celebrated my 32nd birthday. And he goes, "Hey, I have this great project, are you in?" And I had just lost a friend of mine a couple weeks before that, but I could just hear her in my ear, and I could hear her go, "You're stupid if you don't take this. Do it." So yeah. and I'm into the whole horror and gore, and my favorite place is to be covered in blood and stuff. So this is a great, just fun little thing that I get to do, and I get to, play around and, just have fun with great people, great people, and yeah.
All right. So first of all, you're saying it happened just before your 32nd birthday. So what you're saying is it happened like 10 years in the future. There's no way you're 32. That's
yes, I am.
But second, like that's really cool. That to have something like I'm very sorry for your loss. Like that's a difficult thing to go through. To be on like such an emotional roller coaster, to have such a low to such a high. I'm sure that was something that you probably haven't experienced in your life before, to have such a huge swing over a couple of week period. So
yeah, it was kind of just one of those things where, I feel like she just brought me this opportunity. She might not be here anymore, but she brought me this opportunity.
I think that's a good way of looking at it. So one of the things we do, Ashes and I, and Leo and I actually do a show called Indie Creator Spotlight. And Ashes and I, on our show on Thursday, we talk to a lot of independent artists, independent creators. And one of the things that we found a long time ago is like what you were talking about earlier, Susie, the shooting schedule is so condensed. And a lot of folks don't realize that. Like, our main goal is to finally make people understand that independent or low budget is not synonymous with bad.
No, absolutely not.
What folks have to understand and realize, and we try to bring this to the forefront, is exactly what you're saying. And Debbie, you touched on it as well. You don't have 20, 30, 40 takes. This isn't a Stanley Kubrick film with a $90 million budget. This isn't like, oh, we're going to shoot it 65 times from 12 different angles, and then we have a 3-month shooting schedule. It's like you have 2 weeks or less. You have one try to get your lighting right. Like, maybe you only have a permit for this park to shoot this scene, and you have to get it with a certain daylight, because if you don't get it by 4 o'clock, the shot is ruined and you can't do the movie. Like, I don't think folks appreciate that enough. And the time and dedication that you guys put into your art is something that I want folks to recognize and understand. And I think if you watch some of these films, especially like watching Axe2Grind last night, there were some really cool death scenes. There were some really cool kills. And the way that you guys were able to pull that off, what was the shooting schedule like that for that, Debbie?
It was just it was a very short period of time. I want to say, Scott, when he comes on, he can answer the question exactly, I believe, but I want to say it was like a week. It was a ridiculously short amount of time. And I think what blows me away most of all about that movie is it was, first of all, utterly important that the actress came to it completely dedicated, just 1,000% ready. Let's go. Let's just leave nothing behind. But the director and his wife was the lighting designer, so they were like very quick working together. So they were used to that. So it was very lucky on that first time round that you had, that level of competency on such a ridiculously short amount of time, because it looks really slick. I mean, they got some really nice shots out of it. So I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, there's a lot of people that just they could pull something like that off. And then there's other people who are very proud of making short, shoot full-length movies, feature movies. And here we're talking more about the 80s and 90s right now, but their product was just that. It was product, and there was nothing artful about it. But you do actually have people when, you know, they work a lot in post perhaps, and they work a lot in pre-production, but I mean, to have that quality of, you know, something that's really cool, that there's so much to be said for that. Like you said, like, and just everybody committing to working that hard, because all it takes is, whether it doesn't have to be the actors, but it takes the crew people, could be someone in the crew, could be like a divide in the crew, and oh my God, then you've gone from everybody's like completely synced up to disaster. So I mean, that's how tenuous and delicate shoots can be, and why they are so important to get the right people on.
Yeah, I definitely could feel like the heart and like the passion that went into that. I mean, the lighting looked really good. The performances were excellent. Like, it seemed like you guys had a lot of fun off screen.
There was no off screen. we were shooting. You have to understand how many pages a day we were shooting. I mean, to get it done in a few days, right? So, I mean, there was only sleeping, and then there was on the set, and there really wasn't any off screen. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was only, you were maybe had enough time to change or get into special effects, makeup, or something like that. That's it. So, I mean, you were pretty much, in that regard, it kind of worked in your favor, because if you were able to jump off the roof and get a good glide going, then you were good for the whole shoot, because it was just endless.
Yeah, it seems like, it was a tight fit, because that's just how independent films tend to be. Now, when we get to talk to folks, like, generally there's not this many, so I just want to first of all thank you guys for taking the time to spend with us. And so we've been going for about half an hour or so I want to touch on a couple of things outside of the films that you guys do that maybe folks don't know about. So, Debbie, you've got something coming up that you've been working on. Why don't you tell the folks about that?
Well, I mean, I've written, and Susie has written too, as a matter of fact. She could tell you all about her multiple columns all over the world. But I've been writing for magazines and stuff since the early 90s. So the writing part is nothing new, but I'm finishing up my book, From the Underbelly to the Underground, which is, surviving on the street. Really rough and tumble stuff from the 70s and 80s, 70s until like 84. So that's my book, and that'll be coming out 2021, unless something happens where it gets pushed a little bit. Seeing everything's so in flux right now, but they're still at this point planning for the 2021, the publisher, I mean. So that I'm just completing it now, and yeah, it's quite a an effort to take on, and I'm talking more emotionally than I am the work, because work is work, and you have to, love what you do, whether it sucks or it's great. It's going to do both. It's always going to do both. So you have to just push through. But the emotional stuff is definitely hard. But I'm very, very lucky and feel privileged that I already have my distributor in place. So, thank God for that.
Now, Erin, you also have modeling experience, like Jess does. Tell us a little bit about your modeling experience and your website, like where folks can follow you and check out some of your stuff.
So as far as modeling goes, I mean, I kind of got thrown into that. I started out as an actor as a kid, and singing and dancing and stuff, and ended up doing modeling stuff and doing some fitness stuff, and then ended up playing football for a while, and have kept doing film. But modeling's fun, but it's not nearly as intense as working as an actor, because there's not as much that goes into it. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of it's hard, it's long hours, and everything hurts sometimes after a shoot, but I really enjoy being a performer and an entertainer much more. I mean, my website's my name. That's easy to find. But as far as this project, I'm really looking forward to working with a lot of these ladies, and with Spencer and with Scott and all these people that I haven't met and haven't worked with. I'm looking forward to learning from them, and just hopefully, forming a relationship that will go on in the future, and possibly be able to work with them again. So that's kind of what I would really like to take from this. But I mean, I don't really look at myself as a model anymore, only because it doesn't fulfill me as much, I guess. I mean, it's like I said, it's fun, and it's a nice paycheck here and there, but I definitely prefer being able to entertain. There's something about being able to connect with a crowd that just gives you a rush like nothing else.
That makes sense. Now,
Actually, I just wanted to butt in here for a quick second. Erin, you mentioned your website. I want to remind everybody that we have a ton of links in the show notes down below or up above. So if you miss anything said, like Erin's website is listed there as well, everybody's social media, and also the Indiegogo. So during the conversation, if you get you on the show notes, we got a ton of information there. So yeah, there we go.
And Susie, you do poetry, is what Debbie was just saying. So tell us a little bit about that, like some of your extracurricular stuff outside of acting.
Sure. Actually, since about, I guess, 2005, I've been writing for different horror magazines. So I started out in 2005 writing for Horror Mania, which was an Italian magazine. And then that kind of parlayed into some other magazines. I wrote for Gore Zone for, maybe 7 years. Then I wrote for Shock Horror, which was based in the UK. And then I've been writing for Virus magazine in Germany for, like the past 5 years or so. So that's been a great outlet, because a lot of the time I can promote my own stuff, because I wrote a, kind of almost like a Diary of a Scream Queen type column. So I can talk about, a lot of the projects I was working on. But mainly it was just fulfilling to do something different, and to do the research for it too. I wrote a lot of columns about various serial killers. So just having done a ton of research in that realm, and learning about all of the different serial killers out there. So that's been going on, but there's been a huge change, as you know, in this digital age, and the hard copy magazines are slowly or quickly going the way of the dinosaur. So they're just dying out. The work isn't really there anymore. So I just need to switch over to the the 21st century and start writing online. I think. So other than that, what's been keeping me super, super busy is the two little cherub monsters that grabbed my phone earlier. So I have a it almost
that was fun. That was fun.
So that has been everything for the past years. So it's changed my life in so many ways. I never wanted to be a mom. I never was maternal. I never played with dolls. I would cut their head off. I was in horror movies, But when I had my own, it was like the coolest thing ever. And it's, I've traveled around the world. I've done a lot of stuff, but having these two kids just changed my world, and it's pretty awesome. So I've been very consumed in just raising them and doing all things kids lately.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Just before we get to you, Debbie, I know that you are on a time crunch, and you're actually a little bit later than you had wanted to be. But do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to promote?
I'm extremely excited to see Axe2Grind 2 come together with this insanely incredible cast, and with Spencer bringing all of these amazing ideas. I mean, it's off the hook. I mean, as soon as you find out some of the storylines, you're just going to see completely off the hook. Like enough, like anybody who may like what I do, you're gonna see that to the 10th degree. I mean, like this, it's gonna be absolute, mayhem. It's gonna make like the first one look like, okay, that was practice, and now we're really gonna do something here. Crazy. And I just wanted to say, with my bad connection, I apologize. I don't know, I can't hear you guys, but I just wanted to say to Susie, that is so amazing. And talk about coming into the 21st century with the Golden State Killer and the DNA and all of this, like online genealogy, solving these crimes. I mean, it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and it's phenomenal because the Golden State Killer and so many others from decades ago are getting busted thanks to genealogy, DNA, everything. It's fascinating and great.
Yes. And I predicted it, but it has come better than I predicted. I said, this is a very invasive thing, and I would never want to do this. But as it turns out, it is a very invasive thing, but it's solved a lot of crime. So, I mean, the upside is worth it. But anyway, that's an offshoot to the conversation. But I wanted to say that to Susie before I left.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, Erin. I know you have to run as well. So I want to thank you both.
I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. And Debbie and Susie, you guys, I mean, I feel like I've got a lot to learn from you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. And Jess, I'm looking forward to working with you too. You seem like you're just such a sweetheart. And Patsy and Ashes and Leo, you guys are so much fun, and I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Well, I just
thank you, and thank you, Erin. You're amazing. Yeah.
Of course, I will be in touch with you guys because I also write for womeninhorror.net, and I'd like to kind of do a focus on each one of you individually at some point, and kind of highlight who you guys are and what you do and your career. So if you're down for that, let me know. I'd love to do a profile on each of you. Well, thanks guys for joining us. I appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, and so real quick, we'll do the rundown for you guys. For Debbie, where do you like people interacting with you most on social media?
Well, they can make their own choice. They can go to debbierochon.com, and then all the links to whatever social media they prefer is right there. So if they're an Instagram person, Twitter, Facebook, like that. So that's pretty much the only three I do. I don't do like TikTok, or I don't do Tinder or Grindr. But I don't know, but I'm definitely on Twitter, but I'm on all of them, and I guess that's sort of the base place to go to find all links is just the homepage, debbierochon.com.
Sounds good, and I think we have that in the show notes. And same question for you, Erin. Is there any social media you like interacting with your fans the most?
I'm mostly on Instagram because everything connects for me there. I'm like Debbie. I don't do the TikTok. I don't know if anybody's watched the news, but that one's kind of a bad seed anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Instagram and my website are the main two, and I appreciate any new friends and followers on that for sure.
Sounds good. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us, and what we're going to do is, we need to run an ad, so we'll do that, and we'll let you guys go for those that need to step on out. And
when we come back, we're going to talk with Jess.
Yes.
Yay!
And Susie, did you need to head out as well, or do you got a little bit of time?
Yeah, I have like another 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't miss your promos as well.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so now more than ever, we need to support indie artists and indie businesses. The world has totally changed. We're in the apocalypse right now, and we're doing everything from home. So support indie artists by watching this, checking out Axe2Grind too, or Axe2Grind. But also support indie businesses like Deadly Grounds Coffee. They definitely help keep this podcast up and going, the whole network actually. And they're a local roaster right here in Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut, a little mom and pop, type of roasting business. And they make absolutely the best coffee you'll ever have. Matter of fact, that's actually why they became a sponsor, because I was buying too much coffee from them. And I ran into Caroline Williams at a con one day, and she said she brings an extra suitcase to the cons. Well, when we had cons, just to fill full of
Back
coffee.
when we had cons.
Yeah. But it was great. It was great. Yeah, she's such a sweetheart. She brings an extra suitcase just to pack up with coffee from Deadly Grounds, because they hit all the horror cons. If you go to any horror con, you pretty much ran into them. But enough about that. Here's a zombie talking about coffee.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
So we are back. We are now joined by we have Jess Snyder and we have Susie Lorraine. So Jess, the question is to you. You and I talked a little bit about this off the air, but you have a very specific, in addition to your modeling, there's a very specific cause that you try to associate with. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Pretty much, I am just a disability advocate. I am disabled myself. I am a full-time wheelchair user. I have spina bifida. And for me, it's about representation.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you 100%.
Now, there is a young lady we spoke to, and I sent you the link for our podcast. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, that's fine. Her name is Jenny Gold, and she too is disabled, and she is a director, a producer, a writer, and her whole thing is that it's the same thing. It is the representation of disabled people in disabled roles in Hollywood, and I'm sure we're all familiar with the Bechdel test. She has what she calls the gold test, and the gold test is this person playing this role accurately representing someone who is disabled? Are they disabled themselves? Like in Stranger Things, and I'm sorry, not Stranger Things, A Quiet Place. The young lady who is deaf, playing the deaf middle daughter or deaf oldest daughter. Like that whole. I can understand with certain roles how that might be more difficult, but then you have an actor like having an actor like Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot portraying Christy Brown, like that was a phenomenal performance. Is there a specific a movie or role that you've seen that you're just like, man, why couldn't they get somebody else to play this, somebody who actually has a disability? I think they would have done a much better job.
Oh my gosh. Yes and no. But mostly because I understand where they actually are coming from. Like, we'll say Glee is a good example. They had someone who represented somebody in a wheelchair, but they needed them to be able-bodied for dream sequences kind of things. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. There are pros and cons to pretty much to everything, but
absolutely
with representation as well. And I feel like if an actor is going to be playing someone who is disabled, that those actors need to immerse themselves, educate themselves, and try to learn, talk to those who are disabled with those disability to accurately portray the character and
absolutely
be a solid representation for the community.
Absolutely.
So as an advocate, as someone who is disabled, what can someone do to become a better ally for the disabled?
Be our representation, be there for us. It's not a matter of, oh, we can't find anybody to be in this role. We're out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's overly difficult. I can understand with certain roles, like say Rain Man, where you need someone with severe autism.
Right.
I think that's difficult to kind of get that
Authenticity, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be tough to get someone with that level of autism, with direction, because a lot of autistic folks have like very specific set schedules, and I think Dustin Hoffman portrayed that rather well. But to get someone to play that type of role, especially with all the lights and all the sounds and all the commotion going on, they might get overwhelmed as far as their sensory perception goes.
Yeah,
so
it's really not easy. It's definitely not easy, like at all. But I wholeheartedly think that it can be done. I have been modeling for over 10 years now. And as far as I know, I only know of maybe 2 or 3 other actual disabled models that even make above my pay grade.
And see, that's unfortunate that there's not as much representation, because there's already enough able-bodied folks and able-bodied roles going to these folks. Like, they don't need all of the roles.
Right.
And I think is this Spencer?
Yes, it is.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Huh?
I didn't mean to interrupt.
I said I'm calling in with my Ted Levine voice.
Yes, yeah. If you listen to Shark Bites, you'll get that reference. But this is on the line now is Spencer Gray, who is the director of Axe2Grind, and we already had some very nice words spoken about you by Miss Jess here. So how are you doing today, Spencer?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Everything considering, like you're like you said, we're in the apocalypse. So, so I guess all things, apocalypse considered, I'm great. How are you doing? How are y'all?
I think we're all doing well. Everybody doing all right so far?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're an hour in. So let's turn the questions back towards making movies. Unless you have anything else you want to add, Jess.
Nope, I forgot where I was at.
Well, if you think about it again, let us know. And we are also joined by Rachel. Rachel, hello. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. So we have Rachel, we have Jess, we have Susie, and we have Spencer on the line as well. I do dig that picture. I found that for Shark Bites the other day, and it was on. I just Googled you, and that's what I found, because I have to find pictures with very specific dimensions in order to use it as the cover photo for the podcast.
We need to get you on Photoshop.
I know. I do need to learn Photoshop.
Yeah, you're throwing these images at me, and it's like you can't just pump them into here. You got to reformat them. And...
I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the all the little things that I was making, like the different collages. Like, that's just an app on my phone that won't allow me to do more than 9 pictures at once. So I'm just doing my best.
Steps.
Hey, look, that's not my expertise. So yeah, so let's talk a little bit to Spencer and Rachel, and let's get some movie talk going. So
absolutely.
Spencer, we were told that you were instrumental in getting one of our guests directly onto the film, and can you tell us what your process was like with that? When you knew you were going to be directing, what made you reach out to Jess and say, "Hey, I have something for you"?
Well, it wasn't really a hard decision at all. We have such a diverse cast to begin with, and that's just where our hearts and minds are. And people have helped me out in the past, and like PJ and I talked about the other night. I've been doing this 20 years, and a lot of people gave me breaks. And when the universe does for you or blesses you, I believe you have to pay that forward, give it back, or that might be your last favor. So and it cost me nothing to be kind, but I've been friends with her for a long time on social media, and she's always been supportive of me, and she's an intelligent person to talk. She can talk politics. She can also talk about horror films, or whatever, So I thought I'll just reach out and see if it's something she even wants to do, So here we are, and then here she is, and as Paul Harvey used to say, now you know the rest of the story. Anybody old enough to remember Paul Harvey?
Oh yeah,
I know. Leo doesn't look it, but he's actually 165 years old.
Well, I'm older than him. What? I gave my immortality away.
Rachel, thank you for joining us. You have I hope I'm not. Let me make sure I'm getting this correct, because I have a spreadsheet with everybody's information, because there's so many folks that. Yes, I was right. Paranormal Expeditions is something that you do. That's your page on Facebook.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and how that maybe played a part, if it did or didn't, and how that played a part in you getting this role.
I'm a paranormal investigator, and I think that paranormal and horror kind of go hand in hand as it is. But I was fortunate enough to be found just by putting things out on Facebook. I do lend a creepy vibe to some of my pictures, so it kind of just really worked out well for me.
Yeah, I've seen some of the cool, like, long, like, I'm at the end of a hallway type shot, like standing before the gates of hell type thing. I dig a lot of those pictures. Those are really cool.
Thank you.
And you have that super rad tattoo too. Like that's super cool. I'm not going to ask you to show it or anything. Like,
Yeah, I'd have to disrobe, but
yeah, no, we're not doing that. I'm just complimenting the tattoo. I'm trying not to be weird. But it's really intricate. It's huge and it's intricate and it's super cool. Like, I love artistic stuff like that.
Thank you. It was a 14-hour journey.
Wow. Did you do it all in one sitting, or was it multiple?
No, it was over like 3 sittings, so I wasn't that brave. So I could put it on, but no, it was definitely 3 sittings and 5 hours apiece. And I was sorry from the moment that the pen hit my skin. I was like, what have I done? But I'm glad now.
Yeah, but you have a great piece of art to show for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It was worth the pain afterwards.
Yeah, you think that now. At the time, you were probably like, oh, why did I do this? Like, I have a couple of small tattoos. I don't have any big pieces. And it's like, this isn't so bad. And like,
yeah, it was an investment.
Oh, yeah, I imagine, because it looks great. So you guys, not everybody knows what their role is, or at least as far as IMDb is concerned, not everyone has a specific role. And I'm hoping that the reason for that is we don't want to give away too much with the IMDb synopsis, because there was something that happened the other day, and I was, as far as I know, the IMDb synopsis has been edited because it seemed to give away a little bit too much. I had this conversation with Scott the other night, and do you guys know what you're doing? Or Spencer, I'm sure you have, you know what everybody's going to be doing, but does everybody know exactly where they fit into this new story?
Not well, yes and no. Like Stormy, Debbie, Devaney, Penn, but as far as like the supporting cast and Erin, but as far as supporting cast, we know what parts they'll be playing. But we haven't. We're in the process of getting the scripts, into final shooting format and watermarking them and sending everybody an individual copy. So really, nobody knows what character they are yet, if that makes any sense.
I think it does. And for you ladies, was the mystery of this, especially if you're familiar with the first film, was the mystery of this something that kind of drew you to the role? Susie, I'll start with you. We haven't chatted with you for a while.
It definitely didn't draw me to the role. I just trust in Scott, having known him for so long, that it'll be appropriate for me. And like I said earlier, just the chance to work with such a great group of people, in terms of crew, directors, actors, that is what drew me in the most, I think. And knowing the success of the original film, and I had wanted to be a part of that. And I think what happened was I had some scheduling conflicts back then, so I wasn't able to be in the first one, but I'm really happy to be a part of the sequel.
Yeah, we saw the kitty. Jess, same question to you. Was this something that you're like, oh, it's kind of mysterious, but I love blood and guts, so I'm gonna go with it?
Exactly that. It was, oh, this is a indie horror film. Yes, do it. Just go for it. Run towards it. So yeah, it was just an easy choice.
Rachel, same question to you.
I, in my very short time being on this project, have watched a lot of these characters begin to develop, and I've gotten to got to know the old characters, and I was really excited to watch the character development and see kind of where everybody really winds up fitting in the end. So I was just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I imagine like this is like such a cool project. Like, ever since I have heard of it, I have tried to promote it, because like, again, I love independent films. I love independent horror films, and that's something that Ashes and I are very passionate about, trying to get the word out there. So like this whole podcast thing, like you guys are amazing with this. Spencer, you're aware, how quickly this all came together. Like this came together in the last 4 days.
Right.
We were able to wrangle all of you super awesome folks. We still have more folks that are going to be joining us throughout the night. It's been a whirlwind, and I'm truly honored that you guys are able to take the time out of your schedule to come and talk with us. Because
we're truly honored that you would do this and go to such great lengths to support the not only the genre and the horror community, but also indie artists such as ourselves. I mean, there's, countless people out there that deserve to have their art out there, but it also takes work, and you guys have stepped up and, done sweat equity with us. And that's, that goes a long way. So we appreciate it more than you know.
And just a reminder, the reason why we have all of these fantastic people on with us tonight is because the Indiegogo for this film just dropped today. So look at the link either above you or below you, depending on how you're watching, how you're listening, what you're doing. And see what they have. They have so many really cool. I know I plan on throwing my dollars at this project, and I hope that you plan on throwing your dollars at it too. There are some really great perks attached to this project.
I've already figured out which perk you're buying me.
Oh, really? We're gonna chat later.
What is it, Patrick? And I just have to applaud you, Ashes. I trained you guys so well. Thank you. I even got Ben from Token Dead doing the up above down below type of thing. What are you getting? What are you getting?
I want the big bonus pack. Hello.
He wants to be killed by Stormy Daniels. That's what he wants.
I mean, that would be awesome.
Who doesn't?
I volunteer.
I volunteer as tribute. That one's
honest.
A little bit beyond me. But I do like the pack. It's $97, and you get like the signed script and the Blu-ray and the digital download. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. $97 is a steal.
Yeah, I mean, who wants? Yeah, I mean, you want my signature on a script, right?
I want everybody's signature. Like I collect as many signatures and stuff. That's why I asked everybody for audio promos as well. You sent one over. Rachel, you sent one over as well. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What's your name?
Good. What's your name?
Eva.
She wants to be an actress too. She's been asking me.
Oh, she's definitely got the personality for it.
She's
Oh, yeah.
with Susie.
It's too bad she's so camera shy.
Yeah, right?
Right?
She knocked me out of the way.
I've got a little monkey too, so
Do you? How old?
3.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
he's my nephew, but I mean, I love him like he's my own. So he's exactly that age. I'm guessing they're the same.
I believe you described him as faster than the Flash and stronger than Kal-El.
Yes, I did. I did. He is faster than the Flash and stronger than Kal-El. And I've yet to find his kryptonite because he is a 24/7 job.
Now, just to be that dork, if it's the CW Flash, isn't everybody faster than the Flash?
I'm talking about the back in the day Flash,
Oh,
the good one.
Are we talking Wally West?
Yes.
See, Jess, this is your. Oh, I don't know. Are you DC or are you Marvel too? Are you both?
Me?
Talking to me.
Jess.
Oh. Yes, I'm both. But I love Marvel, but I'm mostly just a Batman, DC kind of person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if there's I feel I have to delve into this because we are a bunch of nerds here. Spencer, I'll start with you. If you could direct any superhero film, what's the superhero you'd want to direct?
Batman, but I would love to. I would kill to do Batman. No, I wouldn't kill anybody, Mom, if she's listening. But anyway, just on screen or on paper. But I would love to do Gotham by Gaslight as a film. I think that would just be well. There's a kid. I can't say what I wanted to say. It would be awesome. I think that should be the next Batman movie.
So good.
Yes, let me do it. So if you want to put out a petition,
anybody's listening. Rachel, how about you? If I don't know, are you a superhero fan? Like, is there a movie that you'd want to be in, whether it's as like the main character or
maybe a villain?
I would probably go for Spider-Gwen in Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so kind of like untouched, totally untouched. I think that would be amazing. I love female superheroes.
That's a hell of a
Same.
pick too. That is a hell of a pick. Susie, up to you.
I grew up a huge Wonder Woman fan, so I would have to go with that.
All right, that's fair. That's Linda Carter. I mean, I found out recently she plays a character in a video game that I'm a huge fan of, Fallout 4, and I like it a lot because it takes place in Boston, and we're just outside of Boston. So it's kind of like, I've played that more than I've played anything over the past few years. And she plays a character, a singer at a bar. Her name is Magnolia, and if you play your cards right, you can spend a night with her. Doesn't matter the gender of your character. If you play your cards right and you smooth talk her, because you're supposed to go to her to get information about a specific missing person, but you can flirt with her, and if you have enough charisma, you spend the night with Linda Carter.
She is timeless. She's truly timeless. All of these decades.
Absolutely. So,
guys, I'm gonna drop because I brought you much chaos. So I'm gonna drop off now. But it was so great talking to everybody. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'm really looking forward to working with everybody.
We'll see you on set.
Definitely can't wait.
Before you go, Susie, where do you like people interacting with you on social media? What are your favorite platforms?
Facebook is probably the best. So just search Susie Lorraine on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram under Susie Lorraine. So either of those platforms would be great.
Sounds good. I think we got both links down below or above. And thank you so much for your time this evening. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good night, beauty.
Bye.
Future actresses, both of them.
Yes. Axe2Grind 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
The new blood.
The world's still here.
All right, so Jess, I gotta know what would you do
What would I do? What?
for a superhero film? Like if you could be in a superhero film.
Ivy.
Oh,
Yes.
yes,
would be fantastic.
Dr. Pamela Isley.
Redhead, though. Of course, you want to play Ivy.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
We had a comment earlier. Sorry, I've been missing some of the comments. Tony was asking, and I believe this is going to Spencer. Favorite Batman story. This could actually go to everybody.
Like favorite Batman, as in comics.
Well,
or
he's
does he want?
I'm assuming it's any of the comic stories.
Okay. Okay. Well, shoot. Oh my goodness, that's like picking which piece of pepperoni's the best.
Yeah.
Let's see. I would have to say Frank Miller's, Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight.
Yeah. Probably The Cult, Son of the Demon. Gotham by Gaslight, of course, my favorite of all time. Which, if anybody wants to do a petition, or maybe, blackmail Zack Snyder for me, not, like if you wanted to.
I'm on it, Spencer.
Are you current with Batman?
Not as much as I used to be now.
Yeah.
Between school and the 3-year-old Flash and getting this movie off the ground and with life in general, I'm not current. Am I missing anything?
Well, Tom King had a good run. It got a little crazy, but now, the big news was that they killed off Alfred, but Joker has
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
They killed off Alfred a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the DC UUs.
Yeah. Bane killed him in front of, I believe, Damien.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and they're doing a really good Joker run that actually just started this week.
They changed the costume around and everything.
Yeah.
It looks like if Mr. Freeze designed a bat suit.
Oh, okay. That
weird
nightmares,
Arctic vibe.
But good ones, but fun ones. I don't know. Anybody else think their nightmares are fun? I do.
Yeah, I mean they can be.
It can be.
I had a dream last night that we got a bear, and then we got the bear a monkey, and the bear could talk. It was weird. He could only say like a few words, like he knew our names. Like that was about it. But it was weird. Rachel, how about you?
You lay on my couch. Tell me about your childhood.
My favorite Batman. I don't know if it ever made it to television or not, but it was the Paradox, where they were involved in parallel universe, where Bruce Wayne actually passes away, and the mother becomes Joker, and the father becomes Batman.
Yes.
Flashpoint. They made an animated
Flashpoint Paradox. Yes.
They did an animated film, and it's fucking brutal. Like the Atlanteans versus the oh my god, Wonder Woman's people.
The
Amazons. I was gonna say I kept thinking Asgardians, and I knew that was wrong. That whole battle, holy shit, is that amazing?
Yes, the island of the Amazons. Ask any 13-year-old.
Oh, Tony was saying actually it wasn't a question; it was a statement about Gotham by Gaslight.
Oh, okay, but still, this is fun.
I'm sorry, we digressed.
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
so sorry.
Leo, how about you? What's your favorite? I'm saving Jess for last because I know Jess is like a super nerd. So
He says that lovingly, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Look behind me.
really do.
I've got the entire run of Nightfall. I've got Batman versus Alien. I've got Batman and Son. I've got the Dark Knight Returns. Like I've got that whole, like the big thick books. Like
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Batman versus Predator. I mean, like,
yeah. I got the original Dark Horses. Those are pretty good. But I think my favorite is
that first one ended.
Batman
uses all these like super high tech suits, and Predator keeps kicking his ass. So finally, he just beats the hell out of him with a Louisville Slugger. Regular blue and gray bat suit. Oh, sorry, Leo. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Louisville Slugger is Batman's metaphor.
I'd have to say it was Legends of the Dark Knight back in the 90s. It was storyline called Venom. It was Batman couldn't. There was this girl, that little kid that was kidnapped, and he couldn't save her. She was in a cave. Cave was filling full of water. There was a huge boulder he couldn't move. And this doctor, that was the father of the daughter, said, if you had this strength, pill, that you could have saved her. And Batman gets addicted to drugs, and a storyline of him like fighting his addiction and getting off of it and fighting Bane. It's just.
I remember this now that you're talking about it. That was a kind of bizarre, but really fun at the same time.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite storylines.
That's just how about you?
So, I don't read comic books.
But you watch the movies with
But
me.
I do watch the movies, and I have seen some of the animated stuff, and I am familiar with some of the storylines. So, I'm just going to say who my favorite Batman, like my favorite Batman era is.
Okay.
And that's Adam West's Batman. I love the 1960s Batman, the onomatopoeia, bam, smack, pow, Julie Newmar as Catwoman. It's iconic. I love it.
Oh, we've got Matt. Matt, how you doing?
Very nice.
Hey everybody, sorry I'm late.
Oh.
I got a little
Hey,
tied
Matt.
up with a dinner party, kind of like I got tied up in the first movie.
There's
But I
no such
escaped.
thing as late on this. You just jump in whenever you want.
Yeah, good to see
We've
everybody.
decided I'm directing the next
everybody.
Batman.
Yeah, we're getting into how Spencer's going to be directing the Batman Gotham by Gaslight, and we're kind of going around the room talking about our favorite Batman stories. So we're going to go to Jess, and then
Oh, right, Batman. I remember the original with Adam West. That was my favorite as a kid. I
Was it-
just had to grab a bathroom towel and run around the house.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that, and actually, Ash's. I don't know if you saw if Patrick has shown you my Plex, but there's a couple animated Batman cartoons that were actually in the '66 Batman vein, actually voiced by Adam West
and Burt
Oh,
Ward.
okay.
And Burt Ward, yeah.
They're newer animated, but so what we'll do is we'll get Jess's answer, and then we'll come and we'll give you a whole backstory and your role in the film, Matt. So, and think about your favorite Batman story while we're doing this.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah. So Jess, favorite Batman story.
I actually have to agree with Rachel. The parallel universe Batman, where Bruce Wayne ends up dying and his dad ends up going crazy and his mom ends up going crazy and becoming Batman and the Joker. And yeah,
I'm
my all-time favorite.
I love Thomas Wayne Batman. Absolutely, and I love Martha Wayne the Joker.
So if they do this, there's talk of Negan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would love him as Thomas Wayne.
Oh yeah.
And then,
Heartbeat.
and then they've got, I think they're talking, isn't Keaton trying, or they're talking about having him in the Flash movie?
They're doing, they're doing Flashpoint. Like that, I think is what the new movie is. So you're going to see Kevin Conroy. You're going to see Michael Keaton.
Right.
You're going to see all the, or it's Crisis on Infinite Earths, or one of those.
It's Flash. Flashpoint.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Rachel, you're going to get your wish here. So, Matt, I was actually all week. I have been mispronouncing your name, and I finally, when you
Well, it's Norwegian. It's very complicated. I talked to a guy in DC who worked in the Norwegian embassy. He said, "How do you say my name in Norway?" He goes, "It's Gulbranson." So that's not going to work in America. I'm sorry. So I usually go with Gulbranson or Gulbranson, or in the Army they call me just Lieutenant Colonel G. It's just easier. Or they call me Hollywood for a nickname because I was dabbling in the movies way back when I was in the Army. So, but yeah, Gulbranson is probably like Robinson, Mrs. Robinson. So think of that, Gulbranson. That's the best way to try to get it right.
Yeah,
Unless you're in Norway, Gulbranson.
Yeah, I was putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. I was I was saying Gulbranson, so it's Gulbranson. Okay, so I will make sure I do that.
Yeah.
So
it's very
you
important in Russian language as well. The stress, like the word pisat, pisatel, pisit. One means a writer, one means to take a piss. So you really got to keep it straight.
Yeah,
So that's my specialty, the Russian language, like Russian. On pisit, on pisa, on pisato. He's a writer, he's a pisser. Which one is it?
So you are not only acting in the film, but you also wrote, and you are managing the Indiegogo as well, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, it's really tough. I had some ideas for the plot. I wrote a few scenes, and I'm hoping they're going to be used. But Scott Sanford's the main writer, along with Spencer Gray and Katherine King. But I had some good ideas to make it a real fun sequel, a fun movie. The idea I had was, what if Debbie needed money? What's she going to do? She's a great actress. She's a scream queen. So what if she started school for scream queens? Wouldn't that be interesting? And some of the girls are desperate to become stars. They want the celebrity, the fame. And so what if they made them do all the classic horror scenes like Psycho, Jaws, Friday the 13th? And wouldn't it be good if some of the girls are really, really bad actresses, but if some are really good? That could be kind of interesting idea to play off of. And we just kind of went from there and kind of built a story. And we got lucky to get another great star on with Fran Wilkins, Stormy Daniels. So we had to get her involved. So it just kept growing and growing. It took on a life of its own. And Scott kept adding all these amazing girls, one after another, like dominoes. Where's he finding all these amazing actresses? So we got to make this all about them. So we have to have lots of school scenes, lots of girl scenes, and you can just keep me on the sidelines as far as I'm concerned. So I'm looking forward to see what they do.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else noticed on their Facebook feed. Since I started doing the Scream Queen seminar that Debbie teaches in the film, there's actually advertisements on my Facebook now for the exact same thing, but in real life.
Is that right? Well, that's a great idea.
Don't think things too close to your phone.
No.
I know, right?
Oh, Rachel, you're back. Okay, we lost you for a moment.
Prank caller. I don't know you.
This is interesting. This is kind of like the Brady Bunch, but like with red here and there.
We bounce around, like depending on like.
Should we start singing?
Yeah, I see that.
The way that I see this,
around.
And I think the way that Leo sees this, like each person is going to see somebody. Like, is this a different setup each time, Leo? Like no. Where am I?
No.
Okay, so we're all seeing the same thing because we had another system we used where, like, if I'm looking at the top and I see Leo, then us, and then Jess, like, you guys might see, Matt and Jess and Leo, and then we're on the bottom, and it's like we'd be bouncing
random. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was no, it was because I was manually placing the camera shots. So we may go back to that system.
Leo's like a wizard.
Yeah, that's my job. I'm the monkey that hits the buttons.
You're the engineer. That's what you
are.
Leo does not give himself nearly enough credit. Like the reason that we are doing this through Leo and through his whole setup, and the reason he was gracious enough to allow us to do so, is that Leo's setup is phenomenal. Like if you want a better setup, you need to go to a TV studio. Like Leo knows what he's doing. Like there's a reason he's the head of the network, and there's a reason that I approached him first when I was like, this is going to be awesome. Hey Leo, what do you think of this idea?
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, it was definitely, it's a fun undertaking. But yeah, it's we're doing way too many of these shows. So I want to remind everybody. I apologize. My dog is barking. So we are talking about Axe2Grind, and the big news here is the Indiegogo went live today. And if you love supporting indie cinema like we do, check out the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. You'll find a link to the Indiegogo right there. And so running the Indiegogo, that's quite an undertaking. We've heard a lot of stories. It's a ton of work.
Mm-hmm. Ton of work, a ton of stress, chasing down potential contributors, trying to get it right. And we got the help with some really good people to make it as good as possible. And Scott's very excited about it. I hate to admit it, but our last one didn't go so well. I don't even want to say the number we got, but it was under $651. Ooh. We hope to do better this time, but we're learning. Indie film's tough. Raising money is always a challenge, but with this amazing cast, I think that they should be throwing money at us. It should be like Breaking Bad, where we have to like find a big, deep hole in the desert to hide our money or something, because they should just be really excited with this amazing cast that Scott put together with Spencer. And so I think it's going to do really well. I have a good feeling about it.
I agree. Ashes, you've been chomping at the bit to say something, I know.
Yeah, I actually have a question for Rachel. How did you get involved in paranormal expeditions? How did you always have an affinity for the paranormal, or how did this all come about?
I don't know if she could hear us.
Rachel, could you hear Ashes?
No, it doesn't look like it.
No.
Well, I know how we found Rachel. Scott Sanford found her. And it's like, that was a great find. Where'd you find her? He said she might make a interesting character, like a secretary for you that you can't deal with very well because of certain thematic issues in today's culture involving hashtags. So I'm not gonna say anymore, but that was a brilliant move to bring in Rachel, because Peter Burgess has his issues, with behaving himself. And in this movie, he's going to try his best not to cross any lines and be really good. So we'll see if he can make it.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask if he learned any lessons from the first film.
Yeah, always carry like a knife or scissors in your back pocket.
Yes. Oh, we just lost him. There he is. There you are.
Yeah.
You always carry a knife or scissors in your back pocket.
Or something. Or don't date crazy women, maybe. I don't know. Well, something like that. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Rachel, are you back? You can hear us now?
Can she hear us? Rachel?
Oh, no.
It's the paranormal thing. The ghosts are running interference. Stop it.
Yeah, they don't want her to give away too many secrets. That's what. That's what
when
it
I
is.
was younger, I
Use the Ouija board.
actually had an imaginary friend. Her name was Maybelle. And when I was 13 years old,
Hello?
yeah, I can hear her.
Okay, good. Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can now. Yeah, you were telling us about Maybelle.
Can you?
Oh, we lost her again. She'll be back. I want to hear the rest of that story. Like that sounded like it was going to be going somewhere.
Yeah.
So now, Matt, you've done a lot. Like you were saying, you were in the Army. How does the regimented schedule of the Army compare to a very regimented shoot for an independent horror film?
That's a great question for any movie. The military is all about planning, operation orders. And we have a saying in the Army, hurry up and wait. So you go somewhere, you're ready, wait 4 hours before the plane takes off, and just have you there waiting until it's time to go, but it's always way too early for a long time. You see that a lot in the movie business, but in the same vein, movies got to be planned very well with the money, the production, the sites, the locations, the shots, to plan it, very good planning so you can shoot actors out and make it very efficient, not to move different locations back and forth. So I really appreciate the discipline, the execution, the prior planning, very similar to the military when you do a mission. So it's a lot in common, actually. And the Army got me into my first movie. Incidentally, I stationed in Venice, California. And Army Public Affairs came to me and said, hey, you want to be in a movie? We need White House military aides for American president. I said, sure, I'll do it. I was really young back then and was a captain in the Army. So I threw him in the set, Sony Studios, and I got to hang out with Annette Bening and Rob, Michael Douglas and the director the guy from All in the Family. He's really good. He played Meathead. I'm talking
Rob
Carl Reiner, he's a director, and there's Michael J. Fox. So it's a good experience. And I started acting the ADs, assistant directors, and the PAs. Say, how do you get into the business? How do you get your SAG voucher? And so you just ask for it, and you can get it. And then my next movie is Sergeant Bilko, and they used me a lot in that movie, and I qualified for the union back then in 1995. And I've been kind of moonlighting as an actor ever since while in active duty, back and forth. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's
the Army
very,
got me into the business, basically, which is kind of weird.
that's very
Yeah.
cool. Rachel, you're back.
Can she hear us? Hi, Rachel.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Rachel?
Looks like she's frozen.
Did she enable?
Oh
her
no,
mic?
there she's moving. There we go.
Yes. I heard you. Yeah.
Rachel, please continue your story about Maybell.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I good?
Yep.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, good. I can hear you.
Okay, good. You were telling us
That
how
was-
you got into the
That's crazy.
paranormal.
When I was younger, I had an imaginary friend, Maybell, and when I was 13, they found her buried and her tombstone in my yard. And when they flipped it over, we actually scratched the moss off and saw her name was Maybell. So it was incredible.
Wow.
That's pretty intense. That is definitely
That is
a way to get into the paranormal investigation business.
Were you able to hear me?
Yes. So you guys are do you know what type of shooting schedule looking at, Spencer? Are you
Yes.
guys-
So
Oh, sorry.
she was kind of what brought me to the paranormal. I was seeing her and playing with her like she was a real person, and then she was actually discovered 100 feet from my bedroom window, and so we still have her tombstone in my yard in my home, and I credit her for my career.
That's intense.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just got joined by Rheanon. Rheanon, thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. Sorry I'm late. I had lash clients I had to do. I was trying to get done.
Well, like I was just telling Matt, like for this show, there's no such thing as late. Like we're just gonna go. Everybody jump in, jump out whenever you get here, and that's fine. Like we were just talking a little bit about how Rachel got into the paranormal expedition, and it's very creepy story. I like it.
On that, I hate to interrupt. I'm going to step away for a second, but I'll be right back. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just didn't want you to ask me a question and me not be here.
Okay.
Spencer leaves when I get on.
Okay. All right.
So Rheanon, I'll ask you the same thing that I've asked everybody so far. How did you come about being into the movie? How when you got the offer, what drew you into this particular project?
Sorry.
So
Did
I've
you guys ask
actually
me something? I didn't hear it.
No, we're good, Rachel.
I'm like trying to figure out my microphone. It's like sounding all weird. So I've actually followed and been friends with Spencer for years, before he even did Snake with a Human Tail. So I followed his work for a while. But a friend of mine, Dane Kyle, who we were in the Dark Web Mystery Box together, and he works on indie horror film creative with Tony Newton. So he contacted me and he was like, hey, there's this movie going on. You should talk to Scott Sanford. He's, this great guy. So I got into contact with him and then we started talking and I got cast.
That's pretty awesome. Was there anything specific that drew you to the project, or was just the fact that you were familiar with everybody's work and you wanted to work with them?
It's definitely the cast that's involved, and of course Spencer. He's amazing, incredible director. But it's horror. I love horror, and I watched the first Axe2Grind. It's bloody, it's gory. I love it. So I'm just super, super excited and just blessed that I even got offered a part.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a phenomenal project. Like I'm really excited for it.
Me too.
I
And like
agree.
the cast is just incredible. There's so many of these women I've really wanted to work with, and I'm so excited to do it.
I think I referred you. I did a podcast with Spencer the other day. Yeah, you actually listened to it.
I did.
I think I referred to you guys as the Expendables of independent horror because there's a lot of experience between all of you ladies, and the gentlemen as well. There's a lot of experience, and it just seems so cool that everybody is kind of coming together for what seems to be just like an explosive event. I'm very excited. So everybody here is a big horror fan, obviously. So if you could take yourself back or forward or current, whatever, and you could take over any one role, like say it was your favorite horror film, like you really love Linnea Quigley in Return of the Living Dead, you wanted to do that role, even though you're far too young for it. What would the role be? And this is for everybody. I want everybody to think about this. If you could be in your favorite horror movie or in any role in any horror movie, what role would you take? Matt, I'm going to start with you.
This is going to probably be way before your guys' time, but there's a movie when I was like in high school. I think it was mid-70s. It was called Love at First Bite. It was kind of a comedy. George Hamilton played the lead guy, but he's a vampire basically in New York City during the disco era. I thought that would be a very fun role to step into. So
That's
it's,
cool.
a clean vampire, fun disco, haunting movie kind of thing. But
So
Love at First Bite was called. Yeah, it was good.
Well, here's my question with that: how does George Hamilton, as a vampire, maintain his famous tan?
That's a great question. It's got to be spray on. It's got to be really dark, bloody drinks or something, like a lot of lead in the blood. I don't know. Good
Eat a lot of
because I can't tan like that. I mean, the sun hates me. I got freckles from a burn in Arizona when I was a kid, and I have to wear a T-shirt and go swimming. It's really embarrassing, but I can call it a body glove and get away with it. So that's cool. But when I was a kid, it was like I had to wear a shirt in the lake and stuff. Like the sun just. They thought I was a Native American growing up because I was always red. So
yeah,
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of really good, pigment and melanin. I really want that very bad.
Rachel, how about you? Seems like we got a good connection again. If you could replace anybody in a famous horror film, who would it be? I know it's not an easy question. It seems like we lost Rachel again. Rachel, you got us? All right, well...
yeah, it's just bad connection.
Yeah. All right, Jess, to you then.
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys.
I would have to be the caretakers of the Puppet Master puppets. I would love to be that
definitely
caretaker role.
Sorry, I think we got Rachel coming in again. Oh, we lost her. All right, go ahead, Jeff. Finish your thought. Sorry.
I would love to just be that caretaker role for Puppet Master, the puppet of the Puppet Master. I think that would be a wonderful thing to do.
Do you have a specific puppet that's your favorite?
What's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name at the moment, but he's the one with the blades for hands.
Blade.
Blade.
Is it Blade?
Yeah.
Was it Edward Scissorhands? Oh, that was Danny Giant.
That'd be a cool role too.
This little skeletal guy with
the hat and the trench coat.
hat.
Yeah, it's Blade. I like to think.
Him and Hammerhead. I think his name is, with the little tiny pinhead and the big giant
Pinhead.
Muscular burly body.
Pinhead.
Yes, it would be my babies.
Okay.
It's the most trickiest thing ever. But
that Chucky is scary, though. I know that much.
Yes, I'll give you that. So Rheanon, same question to you. You could replace anybody in a horror film. Who's it going to be?
I would want to be Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street. I am a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. That is my go-to, my favorite franchise. Robert Englund is amazing. He is like my dream to work with. So I would definitely want that part.
I have the glove behind me and the snap case DVD. The whole series, the little snap cases, like with the cardboard that just had plastic on the end. The hardest one to find was the first one. I kept finding like the all plastic case. I was like, I have all of these with the red cardboard. I need to complete the set with the red cardboard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm jealous.
Rachel, you seem to have a better connection now. So same question back to you. If you could replace anybody in a horror film, who's it going to be?
I would definitely do Baby. Cherry Moon Zombie in 3 from Hell is one of my new favorites.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good call.
That was good.
Get to play like the craziest, you know.
Oh, she's so good in all of those.
Wow.
Oh, she's amazing. She's like my favorite. And actually, I get compared to her a lot. Like if I ask somebody who I remind them of, that's like the go-to. So she's my hero.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer, how about oh no, Ash, did you have something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say being compared to Sherry Moon Zombie is definitely a compliment. Like,
yeah, there are way
love her.
Spencer, so same question to you. If you could because you've done some acting in your time. So if you could replace anybody in a horror film, who would it be?
I'd be Dr. Loomis, of course.
Nice.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, John Carpenter.
I figured the Donald Pleasance, not the Malcolm McDowell. Leo, how about you? If you could pop into any role, what would it be?
I don't know. It's I don't know. Probably Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see you like stomping through the woods, chopping up teenagers, smacking them against a tree in the sleeping bag.
Oh yeah. 'Cause,
don't go camping with Leo, by the way.
Oh yeah, no. Do we want to tell the snake story?
I gotta hear this.
Yeah.
No, with this crew, you should definitely tell the snake story.
Okay. So I grew up on a farm, and after my dad passed, I moved away for a bit, and my mom really couldn't take care of the old farmhouse, and she moved out. And when I came back to the area, I stayed there for a little bit, and it's everything seemed fine except when I was doing laundry, I'd hear a noise. This is within the house, just doing laundry, and I kept on hearing this noise. And one day I hear this shatter in the back room, and I go, 2 huge snakes mating.
Oh no!
They're all entwined, thrashing everywhere, and I kind of freak out. And then I dispose of them. I dispatch of one, and the other one gets away. And I think, okay, everything is good. And I still hear the noise under the washing machine. As I'm doing laundry, I see a tail underneath washing machine. I step back, and I notice in the hallway is another big snake, and then above me was another snake. The house was infested with snakes.
Oh my gosh. That would be horrible.
Yeah, I was dispatched. Now these are, on average, they were about 6 feet long.
Go get a mongoose right away. Whatever you do.
Oh, I so
movies.
My dad did a lot of woodworking, so there was axes around the house, and I was literally dispatching about a dozen snakes a season.
Leo dual wield, one in each hand.
Yeah, because when it got hot, they really move really fast, and they'd climb. So sometimes I'd have to use one axe to pull it off the wall, then the other axe to actually take it out.
So Axe2Grind meets Slither. That's a new idea for a movie.
There we go.
There you go. I would burn the house down. Oh my God.
We called it quits. My fiance at the time, she gave me a call, and she said she couldn't come into the house because there was actually a snake crawling up the side of the house. And she just turned around and we moved out shortly after.
Burned down the place.
Probably
Flamethrower.
Like stone snakes. So
Hey, you guys, I got to step off for a little bit. I'm going to try to come back the last half hour. I was going to say some goodbye to some company, but
absolutely. Thank you.
Enjoy chatting with you. I'll try and come back for maybe the last 30 minutes.
Sure.
I think technology is really cool. So, okay, take care. I'll be back.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you.
Thank you, Matt.
There, Matt.
All right. So, Ashes, we got to go to you.
So, well, it's a toss up for me. I would love to be Sam in Trick or Treat with the little dude with the potato sack.
You're about that same height.
I mean, I'm 5'3" on a good day, so I definitplus have the height for it. But
if the sun's been out and you've been photosynthesizing, you grow tall.
Plus, not much hair and makeup involved in that. Just throw a stack over me. Or I would love to be Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany in Broken Chucky. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. So much in that film. She's fantastic. She looks amazing. I am a huge fan of Jennifer Tilly anyways. I love that film. There's just something about the aesthetic of her character in that film that just does it for me. That whole 90s grungy goddess thing that she has going, the bleached out hair with the dark roots. I drool over her every time I watch it. So yeah, if I could do that, if I could look like that in that film, I would just be.
You look way better than that. You don't need to.
Yeah, that would just be amazing. But yeah.
Somebody in
my first crush was your sister Meg Tilly after I saw Psycho 2.
Yeah.
And then she never did anything again. She became an artist or something, a writer maybe. But anyway, she still looks the same though. It's what's freaky. She is. Both of them have aged quite well. I've watched. Was it Jennifer Plays Poker on TV? She looks great.
Yeah. She wins poker on TV.
Yeah,
too.
she's really good.
Yeah, she kicks some ass. I wouldn't play cards with her ever.
Dale, huge Leatherface. But I know who I would be.
Who's that?
Oh,
Quint.
I would have to be Quint. I don't know if you guys have noticed the aesthetic behind me. There's a lot of sharks. Let me show you my shirt. This is my specific logo.
That's awesome.
There's just sharks everywhere. So I would have to be Quint. A close second. Although I could never fill his shoes. R.J. McCready in The Thing.
There you go.
Because first of all, Kurt Russell. Second of all, it's The Thing, the greatest practical effects of all time. And speaking of practical effects, you guys are going to be stepping up your game for this film, and there's going to be a lot more blood, a lot more gore. I love the fact that in the first one you had this almost kind of how I've got all my displayed stuff behind me. The guy in the first one had all the axes. They were used.
Norman.
Yes, Norman. I was going to call him Nathan for some reason.
Tomato.
I imagine that they're going to be, and this is from what Scott has said, everything that you guys are going to be doing, you're going to be stepping up your game. So, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be bloodier. I know, Jess, that's going to really entice you because you love, just some of the pictures I've seen of you that, you love you some blood.
I have 5 gallons of blood sitting in my haunt office as we speak that has yet to be used.
Oh.
5 gallons.
I love how she doesn't specify that it's fake blood or human blood.
Blood. Just with blood.
Middle name Bathory.
Blood. I have a great company I go through. I love them. They are wonderful. And they're also using me for promotional stuff. So.
Yeah, so that
so bring your own blood to the set.
Is that how what? So young, you bathe in the blood of your enemies?
I do.
That's gotta be.
I really do.
I was gonna say if you're interested, we did a show just a few weeks ago. We covered Elizabeth Bathory as a historical figure and as a pop culture figure, the difference between the two. And we had our buddy Jeremy Staffer, who's an amazing photographer on. If you've seen a band photographed in a magazine or something, chances are Jeremy did it. So
nice.
It's an interesting episode.
I have done a Lady Bathory Shibari shoot.
Ooh.
Really?
Yes, we strung up a girlfriend of mine in a suspension rig, and I was underneath her, and I was in this like metal tin bath bucket thing, and we had like hooked up fake blood to her so we could like actually like get it to pour out.
Oh, it's awesome.
Where can I find this?
I'm curious too. I'm like, where?
It is on my Facebook.
Okay, I will definitely be looking that up because that sounds incredible.
It was fun. It was really fun.
So in addition to obviously having
for my virgin ears.
So, clearly there's going to be a good supply of blood and kills. So, Spencer, are you looking forward to the creative ways in which you're going to be dispatching some of the ladies we've been talking to? Maybe not all of them, maybe none of them. Who knows? But are you looking forward to doing this? And we've got Stormy on. Hi, Stormy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We just introduced a new question to the group here. The question is, it was to Spencer, and the question is he looking forward to dispatching some of the nice young ladies that have joined us this evening? And I suppose that question could go to you as well. I imagine that you're going to be involved in some of these slashings going on.
I'm very excited about this. it's not the fluid that I'm used to spraying in my face on set, so I'm very excited.
It's a bit of a change. Now, are you a big horror aficionado? Like, is that a genre that you've always been drawn to?
It is. I used to sneak up late at night and watch scary movies after my mom went to bed. So that I wouldn't get in trouble, I started watching all the old Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th and all that when I was super little. And then I kind of took a break, and then I got into like the psychological, really messed up stuff later in life.
There you go.
So we had a question that we asked just a little while ago, and now I'm very curious to hear your answer. If you could replace anybody in any of the horror movies that you love so much, who would you replace and play that role?
Oh my goodness. Oh, come on. I definitely have to say Night of the Living Dead, I think. Wait, hang on. No, hang on. No. Oh my God. I'm Evil Dead. Sorry, Evil Dead.
Oh, all right.
Evil Dead.
Oh, yeah.
I want that.
For me is Ash.
Oh yeah, I could definitely see you with a chainsaw in your hand, like that.
Right?
Would be...
A gender-bending Ash Williams. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. I would be his like alter ego. I'd be Ashley, and it would probably be some sort of other device. Never mind.
The sad thing is we could probably talk Bruce Campbell into this idea.
I'm down.
Like alternate universe.
Cool. I would definitely do it.
Well, before we go too far, I kind of want to introduce you to everybody on the show. Stormy, this is my wife Ashes.
Hi, it's so nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan.
Our showrunner Leo, he is the one pulling all the strings and making everybody look good and sound good tonight.
Hello.
And of course, your co-stars here. We have Rachel, we have Rhiannon, and we have Jess. And you heard Spencer on the phone.
Hello.
Hi.
So Spencer, that's it.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I know we don't have a ton of time with you, so I really appreciate everybody taking the time. Jess, you've been really you've been here for a while. Rachel, you've been overcoming all kinds of difficulties. I really appreciate you sticking with us.
Thank you.
Rhiannon, I know that you had other stuff that you were doing throughout the day, so I really appreciate you taking the time as well.
Thank you so much.
To us. So
I
Ashley,
am gonna take the time now to say goodbye, and it was great to meet everybody, and thank you for
Nice to
having
meet
me.
you.
well, thank you.
This has been amazing.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Before you go, I just have a couple more things. One, Leo's going to ask you a question in just a second.
Yep.
But two, I mentioned this to some of the other ladies that were on earlier. I also write, in addition to doing the podcast, I write for womeninhorror.net. And everybody, you are more than welcome if you'd like to do a one-on-one interview, either over the phone or through email, whatever. I'd love to feature you guys.
Oh, cool.
So anyone who's
Yes,
interested,
absolutely. I want to do it with Rachel.
excellent.
Yes.
Like-
oh my god. I'm geeking out. Yes, that would be amazing.
I want to go ghost hunting with her.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to that.
So, Rachel, I know we have your Facebook and show notes. Any other social media you like people interacting with you, or is it?
I just do paranormal expeditions, and I like to try to add new people towards the ghost hunting aspect. And I really enjoy kind of interacting with people on that platform. So that's where you can find me, Paranormal Expeditions.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I have that information in the show notes down below or up above. Last quick question with paranormal. Have you thought about? I know there's a celebrity paranormal group that Kane Hodder is a part of. Have you thought about, maybe teaming up with him on something or?
I'm actually friends with Kane from the horror scene, so I'll ask him. He has a good rapport with me. We both actually investigated Rolling Hills Asylum.
Nice. Yeah, I know he has a group himself as well.
I did not know that. How did I not know that?
It was on television. I think Travel picked it up, so you might have maybe seen it in passing.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well,
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know. Yeah, and I've been watching all that stuff because I'm trying not to go to the same places. And
Try
I'm going to a famous one next week, but it's a rematch after what happened to me last time. So.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it.
Oh yeah.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been excellent. Thank you. It was excellent to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Good to meet you.
Have a good night.
So that kind of segues into one of the things that we wanted to cover. Because Stormy, you mentioned when I asked you the other day, you got a couple of things in the works that you want to talk about, and one being your paranormal show. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we just started filming. It's called Spooky Babes. And the reason that I called it that, because a lot of people ask me, like, why do you call it that? I didn't want to use ghost or haunting in the title because I think that really puts pressure on you to have to come up with something while you're filming, and you can't give ghost a script. There's no way to guarantee that something's going to happen. And so we went with the word spooky instead of haunted or ghost. And we're not just doing stuff that's haunted. We're going to go spend the night in the Black Forest and talk about fairy tales and Dracula's castle. So it's all just like spooky stuff. And then the babes part was because I didn't want to get accused of like turning my back on the industry. Like I still shoot for my website. I still do adult stuff. So it was just kind of a way to like tie it together, kind of like own it, I guess, if that makes sense. But it started because I've always had weird things happen to me. Like probably once or twice a year, it would be something so big that it was like undeniable. Like that really just happened. Everybody saw it. I mean, like not I heard a bump, but like something huge. And about a year and a half ago, I moved into a house in New Orleans that was extremely haunted. And it did not like the guy I was dating. And it turned on him pretty aggressively. And that led to me just trying to figure out what had happened. And last week we went out on my tour bus and actually like filmed. And it got way more intense and scary than I thought it was going to. Like, I mean, I'm talking like we had to call an exorcist.
Oh my God.
Wow.
A girl went to the hospital. I mean, it's crazy. You can see some of the footage. I mean, some of the clips and pictures and stuff on the Instagram. I don't have the website up yet. And the reason I don't have a lot of time tonight is I've been sitting at my table here with 3 laptops open, listening to the footage and listening to all the EVPs. And I actually just found an EVP right before I jumped on here. So I'm still kind of like, oh my God.
So cool.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We understand that everybody's busy and everyone's got, lots of stuff. So Our question that we've been asking everybody, what really attracted you to this role? Like what, I'm sure you've seen the first one, you're familiar with the first one, but what made you say, this is what I want to do, other than your love for horror?
I had taken kind of a break. I had nothing going on. I hadn't really done any movies in a while, and I am pitching a horror script that I wrote a long time ago. And it was kind of a selfish reason because I'm really interested in getting that one made, which I'll work on next spring. But I wanted to get in with the horror community and know who well, kind of get my feet wet again. And the producer called me and asked me to do it. It was supposed to be just like a one-day little tiny cameo thing. And we started talking and we just hit it off. So he actually wrote the part for me because I said I was, okay to do more than just one day, like a quick little guest star spot.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like they've been really awesome about letting me make suggestions and this and that. And I have a lot of friends up in the area, so it's kind of an excuse to go visit them too.
Indeed.
So this question is for all of you. There are so many badass female talent attached to this film. How does it feel to be a part of that?
I mean, for me, it's pretty exciting. They added a lot of people after I was already signed on. And obviously I knew who Debbie was, but a lot of the other names came on after me. So now it's like, oh shit, these big names, like these like really well-known horror girls weren't involved when I first said yes. And now they're all on. So I better not screw up. They're all going to be judging me. So
you'll do great.
It's really cool, but like no pressure, Stormy.
Rheanon, next to you.
Say it again. My microphone kind of cut out a little bit.
It's the same question, basically, what really drew you into this, and do you feel any pressure, like Stormy was just saying?
I mean, there's always pressure no matter how many times you do it. I mean, at least for me, I still get nervous. There are big names in here and I'm super, they're women I have followed forever. I've seen their work. They're amazing, incredible, beautiful. I mean, there's definitely pressure, but I'm excited and honored to be a part of it.
You want to know how much pressure I'm under now that I saw all these beautiful women signed on? I bought a Peloton bike. That's how nervous I am.
So yeah, Jess, same to you. Like this is your first role. Do you feel a lot of pressure to?
Yeah, I do. I mean, come on. I get to work alongside Stormy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and first, it being my very first role ever, this is just kind of my opportunity to just get my feet wet, basically. So yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but it sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm still thrilled about it.
So at least we're all in the same boat. We're all nervous.
We're all nervous.
You guys have a great support system.
We had a quick question from Ben over at Still Token Wood, one of the shows on the network. Actually, this was for Jessica, and you don't need to reply now, but maybe if you don't mind sharing the information with Patrick. They're working on a movie as well, and they'd love for a recommendation on a good company to get buckets of blood for.
Oh, absolutely. New Rule FX.
New Rule FX. Okay.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Cool beans. Thank you. I'll get that information to
I swear by their blood. I've used it for years. I can guarantee it.
Pancakes.
There's no sticky. There's no stain. It washes out. It's great. The consistency is fantastic. And for the price, it's not bad either.
Nice.
Yeah, that's important, being able to wash it easily and not have it stain.
Absolutely. I mean, unless your point is to actually do something like distress costuming, then you're going to want to go with something called like permablood. And that's completely different. And that actually gives things like a complete wet look, but permanently.
That's interesting.
Okay.
That's
Of a haunt actress.
No, that's gold.
No, that's perfect.
Oh,
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, we do cosplays and we, dress up and stuff. And there's nothing like having to go to work the next day with red streaks all over you and have to explain it to coworkers. They're like, "Hey, you're looking a little red today. What's going on? Are you okay?" And it's just like, "Oh yeah, I was on
at a convention.
Water. Don't worry about it. It's all
Right.
good in your business."
Ashes, you had another question you wanted to?
Oh no, I was just going to comment on the lady saying that they, this cast is amazing and you all are perfect just the way you are, like I can't wait to see this. This is going to be one badass like female fronted film. I'm so excited.
Yeah, like go ahead, Spencer.
I was just going to chime in and say it's been a lot of fun writing everyone's role with them in mind. Especially it's writing for Stormy and Debbie as well, but it's been a lot of fun to write all these great characters, and these are darkly, they have this huge dark humor about them, and they're bigger than life, and they're smart, and they're survivors, and also every single one of them's batshit to a certain degree, but in a good way, but not in a good way for the people who do get it. Yeah, so it's going to be fun, and I've had a good time writing this thing, and I can't wait to get everybody in together and make some magic. Let's get some art back into the world.
Yeah, like there's been a shocking, I'm not going to say a shocking lack, but like a lot of the stuff that we expected, we're not getting this year. You have to wait till next year, and it's good that we have this opportunity. Stormy, I have something that was sent to me by Scott. He said, "Please tell Stormy this on air."
Oh no.
So Scott said that he's been reading a lot during this whole COVID pandemic crisis, whatever you want to call it, and he's been caring for his elderly mother. And anyway, he says he bought Woody Allen's autobiography and yours on the same morning. His mother watched him take both of those books out onto the patio, and moments later, laughing his ass off, and over and over. And she's like, "Oh, I guess you're reading Woody Allen's book." And he's like, "No, Mom, I'm reading Stormy's book." He had a lot of high praise. It's on our list. He had a lot of high praise for your book. He talked a lot about your skill as a writer and a storyteller, and he really
the
enjoyed
New
it.
York Times bestseller. Full disclosure.
Yes.
Yes.
That's in the show notes. If you look up above or down below, you are a best-selling author.
Yeah, and I think writing is my true passion. That's my favorite thing to do. You can't have a good movie without a good script, and I've always enjoyed writing. And if you read a lot of people thought I didn't write my book, but before they read it, they're like, "Oh, she probably had, this dumb bitch isn't really writing anything." And once you read it, it becomes very clear that it is actually my voice, because when I go back and read it, I'm like, "Oh my god, I really should clean up my language." Fuck it.
Yeah, no, that authenticity is perfect, and I think that's one of the biggest issues that we see in films, and just in general, is that women aren't given enough credit. It's like, "Oh, there's no way you could have done that." It's like, well, go fuck yourself. Like, you have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
So that was that's a huge trigger for me, because when I first started directing, there weren't a lot of female directors in the adult business, especially that did the big features, the big scripted movies. And I directed my first movie in 2004, and it did really well. It got great reviews. They signed me to a directing contract, and I was directing 10 movies a year for Wicked Pictures. Any night of the week, you could see one of my movies on like Cinemax. They do a softcore version. And I did this really big movie, and it's one of the biggest movies that the Wicked's ever done. And it got great reviews. It won Best Comedy, but a lot of the reviewers were like, "Oh, this movie's really great. I love it, this and that." oh, it's kind of shitty how they just slapped her name on it to sell more. We know there's no way she really did that. And I lost my shit. I flew reviewers out to set. I was more upset that they liked the movie but thought I didn't do the work than if they just hated it. Because, you know, you can have your opinion. You don't have to like everything that I do. I'm totally fine with that. But don't say that I didn't do it. And it took me a solid 6 or 7 years to really get respected as a director in the industry. And I've directed over 150 movies. And I'm directing a music video in 2 weeks up in Wisconsin, of all places. But it took a long time to be taken serious because people just thought because I had blonde hair and big boobs that there's no way I could actually be a director.
Yeah, see, that's so frustrating. Like, I can't imagine what that's like. I mean, I know that my wife's gone through, you know, certain things in that regard, but it's like, it's so frustrating. You know, it's like, oh, you can't possibly have, you know, any skill on this. They're just using you to, you know, to sell tickets or to whatever.
Right.
And it's like, that's such bullshit that you can't give somebody credit. It's like, you know, I'm familiar with the industry. I learn about things, you know, it's like I've produced and you've done stunts. Didn't you do like equestrian stunts at some point?
Yeah, I do all my own stunts too. That's great that you know that. But yeah, I learned how to do wire work and I was jumping off buildings and do all my own fight scenes.
Wow,
yeah.
Like, that's badass. Like, you know, so many people don't because they're so worried about like what's going to happen. And, you know, I feel like there's a lot more credit that, you know, not just you, but women in general should be getting for the work that they do. And it doesn't happen as much. And Spencer, I know that's something that, you know, you and I talked about the other day is, you know, this film has a ton of women in it, you know, and, you know, you're all very attractive women. You all look very nice on camera, but like, that's not the point of why you're in the film. You're in the film because you each bring something different. You each bring, you know, this solid, strong presence about you. You know, just from the conversations I've had with some of you ladies this evening, like, you guys are fucking awesome. Like, I'm so glad that you guys were able to do this, and I'm so glad that, you know, you are giving me your time because like this is like really cool for me.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for giving us your time. Appreciate it.
Well, there's so many times where, you know, you see a cast and it's like, oh, it's all women. It's all women. It's like, you know, and like, that's what people lean into more than the story or the premise. Like you were saying, Stormy, like if there's no real substance to the script, and, you know, and the acting isn't good, or, you know, the story is shit, then you're just pandering to people. There's no reason for it. You know, I enjoyed the original Axe2Grind. Like, we watched it last night and I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. Like, people are really putting their time and their heart and their soul into this. And, you know, that's what I'm expecting from this new film. Cause you guys are, like I said, you're fucking awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I like pretty girls and boobs just as much as anybody else, but it's just extra nice if the story is good too.
Yeah, like it's
and that always helps.
I mean, to me, like, you know, I'm you know straight white guy. Like, you know, my opinion is not, you know, all that valid. But, you know, if I'm watching something, and, you know, when I was younger, yeah. It's like, oh, I'm going to rent this movie with my buddy because we're both 14 and I think we're going to see some tits. Like, awesome. Now it's like, okay, so she flashed her tits, but like she can't deliver a line to save her life. Like,
that's the worst.
It takes me right out of a movie. Like, I don't care, you know, how made up you are or how you look. Like, if you can't deliver a line and you can't like make me believe that your character is, you know, in danger or even driving a car, like there are people who can't pull that off, you know.
Oh, I know, I've directed them.
I know the women too now.
Some of the most beautiful women in the world, and I have looked at some of them and been like,
the fuck?
How did you actually physically find your way to set today? Like,
No kidding.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, and I'm not concerned with you guys at all. Like, I'm really enthusiastic about Jess's enthusiasm for this film. Like, just in the conversation that we've had off air, I can tell how like pumped she is for this and how excited she is, and so I know she's going to give everything that she's got to it. Stormy, the fact that your role went from a quick cameo to we're changing the script around to add you in and make sure that we can showcase your skills. Like, I think you're really gonna bring a lot to the table, Rheanon. I'm really excited for some of the stuff that you're gonna do. Like, I know you have your own podcast that you do, so you're used to. I don't know if you guys use a script. We obviously don't use a script in any way.
No, we don't.
So you're good at improvisation and adaptation to whatever's coming at you. So I'm really looking forward to what is going to be put onto the film. I was going to say put on celluloid, but I don't think you guys are shooting that way. But and Spencer, just from the conversations you and I have had, like, you are one of the most positive and easygoing, upbeat people that I have met in a long time, especially in this business. And I'm looking forward to seeing what type of product you put out, and you've got an amazing cast to work with. A great writer.
Thank you. I don't want to. I have no desire, and Scott and Matt and everyone else is on board with me. As you can hear, everybody's passionate about this project, and they're going to bring that to the set and to their performances and how this thing turns out. So I have no interest in making something that's just some warmed over bullshit we've seen to death. And I mean, those movies have their place, of course. Like when you can't sleep at 3 a.m, and a lot of them turn out to be fun and great. I'm not dissing small or bad movies, because trust me, I grew up watching like Thriller Video and Centennial and Vestron. So those are some of my favorite films. Don't get me wrong, I'm not crapping on those, but I'm just saying it's our mission to bring the best of not only something that's darkly funny and a lot of little social commentary, but not with hopefully not coming off as pandering or didactic, but still something that'll make a little bit of a statement. And we all have these big personalities, so like I made the reference on Shark Bites the other night. This is kind of my homage to John Waters and that kind of filmmaking without the dog shit. So
yes.
That part made me laugh so hard. That was a great interview.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
So, Stormy, I know you only got a few more minutes, so I want to talk a little bit more because you have a charitable endeavor that is starting in October, along with another. We'll call it another project that you've got coming out. So, can you tell us a little bit about this, because I thought this was phenomenal.
So I actually started doing charity work about a year and a half ago, because it's, you have this platform and you want to do something with it. And I started an events company based in New Orleans called Swamp Trash Events. And we do basically inappropriate charity events. The first one we did was for the New Orleans Abortion Fund, and we did it on Father's Day.
Amazing.
And we raised like $20,000 in 2 hours. We did a block party. The next one I did was last summer, and it was for the Gay Community Center in New Orleans. And we did a Midsummer's Night Cream, and it was a fairies. I held it at a gay bar and had gay strippers dressed like fairies. So it's kind of like taking power back, and in words, from the words. And the one that got canceled because of COVID was for the domestic violence shelter. And I was gonna do a fish fry, and our shirt said "Batter your food, not your women." So I have a pretty fucked up sense of humor. So let's just start there.
I need all the information.
And so, two things that I'm doing is one, there's it's so hard for me to say, Chomp a Chump dog toys. Obviously, the biggest seller is Trump and his dog toys that are shaped like all the political candidates. There is a Biden one and a Bernie one and all that stuff. But a big portion of the sales of those go to an animal charity. A few different ones. I'm not clear on the percentage for each one, so I'm not going to misquote. And then the other thing I'm doing is a comic book. It comes out in October, and it's called Stormy Daniels Space Force.
It's fucking like the two images you sent me are fucking incredible. Like,
I mean, I just want to irritate the shit out of him until he just spontaneously combusts. That's my main goal in life. A portion of the sales from Space Force, which is also in the works for being an animated series, which is the coolest thing ever.
Oh my God.
Is going to go to Wounded Warrior charity.
Which is awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring that up, because, you know, a lot of times folks who have a platform have things that they're passionate about. And I want to make sure that, we folks know that, there's a lot more substance to you than, folks have, maybe previously thought. And, I could tell just from some of the interactions we've had, it's been, short and on email, but like I've seen some of the interviews that you've done, and obviously your book is phenomenal.
Thank you.
So I that's part of the reason why I'm really glad you came on, is because,
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. And to if you don't mind me just plugging one more thing.
Oh, please.
The show that I'm doing, Spooky Babes, the paranormal show, I think one of the things that really made me decide to do it, and I'm paying for all of these first episodes. I'm investing because I really want it, my vision to come across. And what makes my show different than a lot of the other shows that are on, and I'm addicted to all of them. I love all of them. Is that a lot of times when you go to these homes and you have these people that are suffering from this activity, they just like leave. So we have the paranormal team, the Spooky Babes paranormal team, which is like the investigative team, and we'll come to people's houses and stuff like that. And the other part is the aftercare team. And I've put together a group of healers to really help these people, because even if your house isn't haunted and we go in and debunk everything and it's like, no, you have a gas leak and you're hallucinating, or there's black mold, or you just have shitty pipes. Especially if there's a kid involved and they're having nightmares, at the very least, they're going to need some therapy. And a lot of these people can't afford that, or worst case scenario, they need to move. And, a lot of these other shows just pack up and leave these people in these places. And even if everything is like taken care of, there still has to be some sort of aftercare. I have a Reiki master coming on, a yoga person. I have a CBD company called Tempest by Stormy, trying to do like natural healing stuff, teaching people how to protect themselves. And most importantly, so many people may have an actual paranormal thing going on. I know, because I fucking lived it. And you're afraid, and people will think you're crazy, and you're ashamed, and you won't talk to anybody, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Or if you do go talk to somebody, they're instantly like, you need some sort of, psychological medication or sleeping pills, and they never deal with the actual problem, or even more frequently, they never deal with the aftercare. So I'm going to donate a large portion and set up an aftercare fund. And I have all these healers and, counselors, and we're starting an equine therapy portion to really help people deal with the after effects of going through something like this.
That's pretty awesome. I know you're about out of time, but before we go, if you have anything that you want to plug, social media where you like folks following you, obviously the Spooky Babes Instagram.
Yeah, so the Spooky Babes site and all that's not up. We do have an email. If somebody wants to email, it's on the header for the Instagram. The Instagram is Spooky Babes Show. Obviously, everybody should know my Twitter. It's just Stormy Daniels, because Twitter is my favorite sport. And I do not have a public Facebook or any of that stuff. There's a lot of imposters. My regular Instagram is the Stormy Daniels, and it has the blue check mark. I'm not going to ask anybody for Amazon gift cards or iTunes cards or money, and I'm not texting anybody. There's so many people that literally book dates with me, and you're not talking to anybody. Sorry.
That's so terrible.
God.
So before we let you go, Stormy, I just want to tell you, seeing as you're here in person, I just want to thank you so much for your bravery and your honesty and not allowing them to silence you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Back down and
I don't know if it's bravery or stupidity at this point, but
it's definitely bravery. You could have backed down and you didn't, and we love you for it. So you have a lot of people rooting for you.
Thank you so much.
Can I say something to Stormy real quick?
Oh, please do.
Yeah. My mother is making me tell you this. She's 71 and thinks you're an American hero.
Oh, I want to see your mom.
So do I. But she thinks you're awesome.
Oh, thank you.
That's true. So, Stormy, thank you so much again. And if you want to do something else down the road, we'd love to chat with you again.
Yeah, absolutely. You have my email. I have plenty more to talk about. I can't wait, dude. You were gonna flip out when you see this footage from last week. I can't even.
I'm so excited.
I'm very
my head around it.
Love that stuff.
Sounds good.
All right. Have
Bye,
a good
everybody. I
Enjoy your
sleep
evening. Bye. And I don't want anyone to think that we are neglecting anyone, but we have just been joined a few minutes ago by not only a star of the film, but also one of the writers, Katherine King. Katherine, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sorry we rambled on a lot with Stormy, but we were trying to get her before she had to go. But thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be on, and I was enjoying it just like everybody else. She's awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun. We got about 35 minutes with her, which is pretty great, and we're very excited that everybody is joining us. So the first thing I want to ask you, it is the same question that I've been asking everybody, is when you were approached about this film, because you did have a small role in the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're right. You're very astute. If you blink, you'll miss it. But I was killed off pretty quick, right in the beginning, by the teenage Debbie.
So when you were approached about this one, what were you like? What was your reaction? Like, oh yeah, I'll come back. Like this sounds good. And also being one of the writers on the film, how is that? What was that process like? Coming back to act and to Matt's back.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Kat.
And also
so I first of all, I've known Matt and Scott for a long time. Actually, you could say Matt, who just came on, is like one of my oldest friends, coming from the East Coast to the West Coast. And then through him, I met Scott, and we've worked on several things. So when Scott approached me, being a part of this movie as a writer, of course I said yes, because it's great to work with them, and it's a lot of fun to just go nuts with horror. I especially like working with Scott because he's very into women being prominent in his films, and as an actress, of course, that's something that is just really great to see. I'm apparently the female voice in the writing, so here I am lending a legitimacy to the dialogue between all of these amazing women. And yes, it is pretty cool actually to see the badass women. They're not playing by rules. They're definitely living outside of society with their axes and all of that. So it's really fun to write for it. And then I'm going to be playing Stormy Daniels' therapist. So I think she's going to need a lot of therapy after all the killing that her character does. So that'll be pretty fun.
I would imagine the killing would be
offenses.
the ultimate form of stress relief.
No.
Yeah, I think horror is just like
Do
a dark fantasy, like a dark fantasy of what you shouldn't do in real life, but you can do it in the movie. It's basically the charm of it.
Matt, thank you for coming back.
I'll try to finish the show with you guys, and thank you for having me back.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you just missed Stormy. She just jumped off a couple minutes ago.
Wow.
Don't worry, we didn't say anything good about you, so
That's okay.
So
I'm just a small player in all this. I'm just happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. We're happy to have everybody here, especially you guys that have been sticking it out for a long time. Again, Rheanon, you worked all day. You were running around doing stuff, so I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
Like everybody, I know I've said this like 5 or 6 times, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but we are very grateful that you guys are taking the time, because this is going to be so friggin' cool, and I can't wait. So.
Actually, I just want to break in here for 1 second. So we got about 25 minutes left. For the people just tuning in, I want to remind you that Axe2Grind Indiegogo went live today. There's a link down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And we need to pay some bills here, so we do have an ad to run. This is a short one. We'll be right back. But here's Father Evil talking about some coffee.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
And we got a link for them along with all our awesome guests for this evening in the show notes down below or up above. So if you missed anything, just check there and click a Rooney.
If you guys drink coffee, this stuff is absolutely phenomenal.
I'll have to try it. I was actually, I love Father Evil. I should put him in Axe2Grind.
Yes, you could.
I mean, maybe he'll bring you some coffee too. I'm sure. Honestly, though, I'm sure.
I give this guy a role in the movie. I got free coffee.
You let me know when. Obviously do this off air. You let me know when and where you guys are going to be shooting, and I will get some.
I know exactly where. My brother's house is one of the sets.
The official set coffee.
And I want a caramel macchiato, please. Thank you.
They make a chocolate raspberry called Witch's Brew. Oh my god,
Witch's Brew is great.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Most of their flavors have some sort of horror bend to it, like caramel scream egg. That stuff's really good. Yeah. If you like dark coffee, that's Hell's Fury.
What I've been doing to get my mornings jump started, because I don't sleep anymore, but I get this great CBD, microdose CBD, and coffee from this place called Strava in Colorado, and then I mix a little Death Wish up in it.
Ooh,
and that'll get your motorboat going in the morning. But I definitely want to try the coffee at the Deadly Grounds. Sounds amazing. I'm a coffee dude, so
yeah. I used to drink the Death Wish, but I used to pop caffeine pills, and you definitely realize the. Did you almost spit your drink out there?
Yes, I did. I'm just imagining you popping a caffeine pill before Fight Club.
No,
Hey, can I answer my Batman question now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I can't think of a specific episode, but I can really remember Catwoman and Batgirl. They look so great in leather. I was just thinking, you couldn't say that today. You couldn't say Catwoman and Batgirl. It had to be Cat female and Bat female would probably be correct, and it wouldn't be as fun, I think. But I remember those leather outfits, and that's amazing. Back in the 70s original Batman show with Adam West. So that's my Batman memory for you right there.
Julie Newmar is my favorite Catwoman.
Oh,
I like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, this is
can't go wrong here.
Yes. She's fantastic.
yeah, man.
Gorgeous.
Catherine, we haven't gotten to talk much with you, but I didn't tell Ashes this, but I told you that she would absolutely love this idea. So tell us a little bit about the business that you have, that you do in your off time, that I would imagine helps keep you active and definitely keep you in shape.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Catherine.
I figure once you mentioned the the business, yeah. So in my spare time between running running from people with axes, I have a solving pedicab tours, and also a Green Goddess pedicabs, which is in Santa Monica. So if you don't know what a pedicab is, it's a little bicycle rickshaw, and we take you around where I'm bicycling you and you relax in the back, and I
you
give
get
you
a
a little
pedicure.
tour.
You get a pedicure at the same time.
Well, you get. I mean, I
Good
get
for
my workout, so then I'm ready. I'm ready to go to whether I need to like run away from people who are trying to kill me or do some other role. Yeah. So yeah, you guys got to come out, and take a ride.
And if you in your tour, there's a specific place you can go for refreshment, is there not?
Oh, that's right. In Solvang, and we end the tour with a wine tasting. So I mean, you really can't beat that.
Oh, I'm so there.
That's a beautiful town.
Come on over.
For our
That's a
anniversary
Norwegian town,
every
isn't it? Solvang's Norwegian descent, I think. It's nice.
Danish.
Danish, okay, close.
Yes. I'll tell you all about it.
Great.
Yeah, for our anniversary every year, we go to a very specific winery on Cape Cod. It's actually, they make the rum that I'm drinking now. There you go.
Nice.
It's like 96%. Like I buy one bottle, it lasts me a year.
You're gonna be shit faced by the end of the show.
Well, I'm drinking it slowly. Like,
and he's a light sipping it.
This was fairly full.
It's like Baltica number 9 in Russia. It's very strong beer. You have to drink it in shot glass. So order Baltica number 3 if you're ever in Moscow. Much safer.
That's
good to know.
I've had both. I know what you're talking about, Matt.
Baltica beer. Piva из России. Понимаете? Очень вкусно. I said it's very good beer from Russia. It's very tasty. Never mind.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
Continue with the show.
That was a different commercial.
Really working for Matt. Is Matt even your name?
Matvey. It's from the Bible on the first book of the New Testament. It's good stuff.
So
this is a sting because of my activism, isn't it?
I don't want to pay attention to all that stuff. I'm just like not watching TV. I'm just walking twice a day, dodging the virus, making movies here and there. It's fun.
That's all. Hey, Taylor Swift's got a song called "Axe2Grind."
Really?
It's out today. Yeah, it's on TV.
Wow.
Holy crap!
That's a sign. That's a sign.
That is the serendipity right there. That is the sign.
Maybe she can be in the movie too.
Maybe you can sue her and get all the funding you need.
Honestly, if you do your own travel, we can do it. We can work this out. We talked to her.
You know what's freaky is I have another chat open, and actually somebody else was just talking to me about Taylor Swift because we got a friend that's
Is
like
it Phil.
No. It was somebody asking, "Is Phil really that big of a fan of Taylor Swift?" Like to chat, like he just started chatting with me. Taylor Swift like lives in our area, and
it's almost like a gimmick with him, like how much he likes it.
Yeah, but it's that's what he was asking. Is it a gimmick? But no, we talked to him about it. He's a big fan, and her dad actually was chatting with my father-in-law and gave him some guitar picks that she used, and we gave him to Phil, and he was ecstatic about it.
Mind, yeah.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to go. If that's all right.
That is all right. You spent quite some time with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
cool cowboy hat.
having me.
Look forward to working with you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to working with all
It's
of
like
you.
a
And
country western star in that photo. It's pretty cool.
oh, thanks. That was actually from the set of Snake with a Human Tail.
Really?
Yeah, somebody got it for me, and it was hot, and I put it on, and it took and the picture turned out cool. So
that's a good picture.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to meeting you in real life soon. Then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
And Spencer, we're going to ask you the same question because I know Leo gets worried if we don't ask. Where do you like folks following you on social media?
Okay. Well, Spencer Gray on Facebook, Spencer D. Gray on IG, Instagram, and on Twitter it is like Cthulhu's Lust, but it's at CTUTHLUST.
Wow.
I don't even know how the hell to pronounce that, but I probably should have picked something else. Because I feel stupid spelling it every time. I didn't know I was going to be doing podcasts again when I got back in school. I was like, I'm done with everything after Snake with a Human Tail. It was so much work. I was like, I'm going to go do something else for a while and come back to this.
You know, you don't have to promote that one. You can just do the Instagram.
Well, you know what, though? Actually, I get a lot of traffic on Twitter to have such a low follower count. It's kind of strange. But, I mean, I keep it for things like this.
Yeah.
To, promote, Indiegogo, Axe2Grind if I'm doing something at OU or whatever. If I'm protesting something, which I do a lot. So.
Hey, my son teaches English at OU. He's in his master's program. Greg, look him up. He's pretty cool.
Who?
My son Greg's at OU. He's getting his master's degree. He's taking classes at the same time. He's teaching and getting a free master's. A really good program. In Norman, right where we'll be shooting. So it's pretty nice.
What's his last name?
Gulbranson, Greg Gulbranson.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Duh.
my only begotten son. I'm sure we'll meet him on the set. He'll come. He'll show up.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks for your hard work.
All right. God bless everybody. Night.
Good night.
Night.
And if you missed any of that information for Spencer, check the show notes down below or above. I have all the links right there. Easy, so you don't need to remember how to spell Cthulhu.
I got a question for Kat, my old friend. I have a question for Kat.
Yes.
Kat, now as you may not know, Kat had a pretty important part in the first movie. I was just curious, are you going to do anything to disguise yourself or change your appearance? I'm just curious what your thoughts were about that.
I don't think it's really going to be necessary. If you go back and look at the scene, there's just like a bunch of blood and body parts flying everywhere. I don't really think anyone outside of this group is going to notice.
I just wondering. I'm going to notice, but you should wear glasses.
Fake mustache is going to be too much, I think.
Yeah.
Ashes, I know you.
I could shave my head if you think
No. Maybe hair up the glasses. That's good enough.
Well, I am going to be a therapist, so we'll go the studious, sexy route.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And hopefully I'll stay alive a little longer. That's my goal.
I'm gonna keep you alive this movie. I'm not letting anybody touch you. I promise.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know
Who knows what's gonna happen?
He's gonna try.
I don't even know if I'm gonna live. I'm kind of hoping I survive, because in the first movie I didn't get one drop of blood on me. I'm still fortunate and thankful. I just, it's incredible. So how did I pull that off? It's amazing.
We're still working on the final draft. So
I know. It's like, please,
just maybe treat me well, send me flowers or something, and maybe you'll live.
Hey, what's your address? I'll do that. Santa Monica, Catherine, the girl that you still do clown stuff too, right? And entertain kids. I remember that, like little parties and stuff.
Yeah.
That's really
back
nice. You make balloons
before the quarantine. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
I could do that. Yeah.
Very talented. That's awesome.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, first of all, thank you all so much again for coming on. We actually only have about 10 minutes left of this show.
Uh-oh.
So before we wrap things up and get things going, I do have one final question, and this is for all of you, because we are talking about Axe2Grind 2, and it hasn't started filming yet. It's still in the pre-production process. I know we are looking forward to seeing the film, but I was wondering if there was anything that you were looking forward to regarding the shooting process.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Jessica.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to a lot of the behind the scenes bits and pieces. I want to see the props and the blood they bring in and things like that. And yeah, I'm excited just because it's my first time. And I just getting to put my foot in the door and figure out the process is my biggest thing. How it all actually comes together.
Cool.
Rhiannon, how about you?
I'm excited to work with everyone. Like I was saying before, I follow a lot of the women. I'm super, super, super excited. Spencer's incredible. But I want to get bloody. Like, the more blood, the better. I am dying to get covered in blood.
Wow.
So if your character was to die, what would be the ideal way for her to die?
God, I don't know.
Carbon monoxide poisoning in the car.
Let me take notes.
No, because there's no
personal.
I'm joking. It's a joke.
I just quietly die in my car.
Old age.
Sitting there waiting to get bloody. Shit, I don't know.
Good old knife always works.
Knives always work. Maybe a cut throat, and it's just pouring out of my neck.
Face first into a wood chipper.
Yeah, that would work too. I would definitely die. I'd get bloody. I don't know. I never thought about that.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm like, so how would I want to die?
Slowly.
For the movie, yes. If it was real life, no. I want to go quick.
Yeah.
But I want some kind of, because even, the Saw movies and Hostel and stuff, I mean, there's some brutal ass kills in those movies. And I think that would be kind of fun, just to slowly have shit happen.
Saw 3, The Wreck. When the guy's on the thing that twists his arms and then twists his leg. Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Oh, I cringe every time. Now my leg hurts.
A lot of those I cringe on.
Slow death that you really have to act the shit out of. That would be fantastic. Get all naked and bloody and just do what you want. That'd be really cool.
Oh, getting hung up on a meat hook like in Texas Chainsaw. And just writhing around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many ways.
So same question to Katherine and Matt. What are you guys looking forward to the most?
Yeah.
I'm super thrilled to be working with Stormy. I think that's going to be amazing. I think she's pretty badass in real life, and it's going to be so fun to work with her. Also, Debbie, I think she's a great actress. And then as a writer, it's just such a thrill to see the words you've written come out of the characters' mouths. This is just so great. So, I'm looking forward to all the actresses that are on right now, and then all the rest. Just the story coming to life. It's so fun to see that. So I'm looking forward to the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, how about you?
Yeah, well, this is my first time too on a podcast and ever in my life, so it's pretty exciting. Good format.
Really? Excellent. Yeah. Thank you.
Good for my first one. I'm looking forward to seeing Kat again. It's every 4 or 5 years I get to bump into her on a set or an audition somewhere. And the fun thing is, shooting Oklahoma City, Norman, I have my dad lives there, my brother, my son, my nephew, and a couple of my nieces. So to be around family and be able to stay over there while we're doing the movie, use their houses as sets, catch some bass in the backyard of my brother's house where they're really biting.
Ooh,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Cool. So I'm looking forward to meeting all the beautiful cast, all the nice gals that we assembled, and the director. And it's going to be pretty fun, I think. It's going to be a fun experience. And I have a good feeling this is going to be an amazing sequel. I think it'd be like Godfather 2 versus Godfather 1. It's going to be better than the first. Way better. I just have that feeling.
Well, I'm really excited for it too. After watching the first one last night and getting to talk to some of you folks and to see, get a little bit of the behind the scenes, what your personalities are really like. I think this is cool. Usually we're talking to folks after a film has been made, right? And so we're like, oh well, I can see from your performance that I can this part of your personality was in this scene and that scene. But getting to see all you guys interacting, and some of you are talking or meeting each other for the first time, is crazy, and getting to see how like enthusiastic and just like fun loving you guys are. I think it's going to be great. You guys have already started to build up a great rapport, and I think this is just going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I say the chemistry so far has been great just on this show. I can't even imagine what the chemistry is going to be like on film.
I'm just pumped that like, you know, once this movie blows up and it's huge, we can be like, yeah, we talked to all those folks, we had them on the show, and we already knew it was going to be huge. So you're not telling us anything new.
They're going to put you on the Dick. They're going to put you on the Dick Cavett show after this.
So we're pretty much out of time, but before we go, we want to get everybody's social media stuff. So we will start as we have. We'll start with you, Jess. Where do you like folks following you on social media?
You can follow me mostly on Facebook, Jess Snyder Model, or you can follow me on Instagram, Hot Wheels _modeling official.
Okay, thank you. And those links, again, like all the other links, up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. Did I do it right, Leo?
You did.
Awesome.
I'm going to be out of the job.
Well, I'm not running the 6 screens and 4 computers you've got going.
You still most definitely have a job, Leo.
Yeah.
We need you.
Okay, thank you. I feel better.
Rhiannon, next to you.
Okay. So I have 2 Instagram accounts, Zombie Barbie 13. And then my podcast one is Sinister Parlour Podcast, and Parlour is PARLOUR. Also on YouTube, Sinister Parlour Podcast. And then Facebook is Rheanon Nicole, and then also my page for Sinister Parlour.
And is that just the YouTube stuff, or is the podcast also audio?
It's audio and YouTube. So I have it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all the platforms. And then I also have the video on YouTube.
Excellent.
Actually, since we're on that subject, and since we are a podcast, what are a couple of your hidden tips or tricks for podcasters just starting out?
Oh, man. Just get in there and do it and try. I had no idea how to edit. I had no idea how to podcast. I learned from being on podcasts and becoming friends with podcasters, and then just being okay, like, what platforms do you use? How do you do it? My editing, I do with iMovie. I had to read how to do every single thing to edit it. I think to begin with, I had used Podbean, which was really good, but it limits you unless you pay like a monthly fee. Oh God, what is it called? Anchor. I think it's Anchor FM. Is that what it is?
Yep.
That's been the easiest thing ever. It's easy to edit the show. It's easy to it puts it on all the platforms for you. So it's way easier than you think it is. So I was really nervous to do it on my own, but it's a breeze once you just go for it.
Nice.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Like, we had a producer for like the first 3 years of the show that we did this. And about a year ago, our producer was like, hey, I'm moving to Maryland. I got a new job. And I've had to learn how to edit. Like, we had to get a mixer. We had to get mics. We had to get all this stuff. And I learned by watching YouTube videos. I use Audacity to edit. And I'm starting to get along with it. And I don't mean to toot our own horn, but I don't know if you saw this little guy right here. I do occasionally. We don't talk about ourselves enough, but we
that's badass.
We won this last year at ScareCon. We got an award for best interview. Over 150 other podcasts, and I'm proud of that. We came a long way from I had no idea what I was doing to we got an award. Like, it was crazy.
That's so cool. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. So yeah, like, podcasting is a lot of fun, but it's like you were saying, it's a lot of work. It's not just a product, which is again why we raised a glass to Leo at the very beginning of this.
Oh,
Katherine, next to you.
Yes. So on Instagram, I'm Kat King 310. That's 2 T's, KATTKING 310. Facebook, Katherine King in LA. And of course, if you want to take a pedicab tour, it's Solving Pedicab Tours on Instagram. And a little quick plug, if you follow me, you'll see a project I just wrapped, Immigrant Mother, which is a short film that I wrote, and it's directed by Renee Garcia. And then I'm cast in a feature film, Night Raiders, which is an apocalyptic movie where women have taken over the world in 2037, and I'm part of a renegade. I'm actually the leader of the renegade Wild Women, the Crows. So that should be fun, and we'll be shooting in the desert. And I get to, kick ass, so that's always fun.
I hope it doesn't take till 2037.
For us to take over, yeah.
Yes. It's
we're working on it.
all right. Well, let me know how I can help. Matt, lastly to you, sir.
Yeah, it's best to follow me late at night down a dark alley when I'm unarmed and a little bit, not prepared. But actually, Matt Gulbranson on Facebook, at Race James on Twitter, which is RAYCE James. And I think I'm on Instagram by how they look at it, Matt Gulbranson as well. So I don't have that many people that following me that much, but I guess you could find me if you look hard enough.
And you've got another project that you also are working on.
Yeah, I just finished a movie in Arkansas called Family's Love, where I played Tom Lexington, and that should be coming out next year. It's like a antebellum, pre-Civil War, kind of a romantic. I'm a slave master, and some drama involved with my family. And if you're not familiar with my other work, check out a really good trilogy I'm in. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Malice, the Malice trilogy. And I played Jed Spry. It's really interesting. It's kind of like Stranger Things before Stranger Things came out. And I think you'll like the lead heroine, the actress, Alice. It's really kind of a cool, hip, indie type trilogy of movies, and I think you'll like it. So check that out.
Nice.
Awesome. Leo, where do you like people following you?
Switching
it up on you.
I know. Where can my links be found?
Probably in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. All you got to do is Google Leo Pond. Some of it might be true, some of it might be not. We're not going to tell you which is which.
I want to thank you all for watching. Definitely check out the show notes and follow our awesome guests. And more importantly, check out the Indiegogo that's going on right now for Axe2Grind. We love supporting indie artists and indie films because, that's where the true passion is right now. We love Marvel movies and all that, but, you really get the original movies out of indie right now. And, a movie like this, you definitely got to support. So check with the show notes down below or up above and look for the Indiegogo. And definitely check that out. It went live today and looks like you guys already got a bit of money going, which is great. And also head on over to thedorkening.com where you can find all the shows on the network. Just about 30 shows on the network right now. And, after the summer, I think we're going to work on growing that a bit. I got a couple cool plans going on. But here we go. How about you guys? Patsy and Ashes?
Oh, Ashes, where do you like people following you?
I don't like people following me. No, you can follow me personally. My personal Facebook page is Ashes Von Nightmare. That's VONNITEMARE. You can also follow me on the Twitter and the Instagrams at Miss Von Nightmare, MISSVONNITEMARE. I post a lot of podcast stuff, wine and cat pictures with the occasional selfie. So have at it.
For me, you can find me if you search Patsy the Angry Nerd, you'll find my Twitter. I have this logo there with my you can't see it if you're listening to the podcast, but you'll see. Actually, no, I changed my avatar.
Why are you so difficult?
I don't know. I'm terrible. But best place to follow me is if you check out our podcast, our website, throwdownthursdaypodcast.com, that has our articles that we both write for comic book reviews, movie reviews, video game reviews, book reviews. women in horror articles, you can find me at womeninhorror.net. And Catherine, I don't know if you were on for that, but I write for womeninhorror.net. And if you want to do an interview, I'm always down to cover anybody and everybody who wants to talk about their career in horror and help inspire the future generation of women in horror as well. And obviously, Jess and Rhiannon, that goes for you too as well, as I mentioned.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
And we're always looking for more podcast guests. We don't always do it live with a dozen people. Sometimes it's a lot more intimate with just one or two of us. So we would love to have you on, Matt. I'd love to chat with you more about some of your stuff.
Sure.
Catherine, Rhiannon, and Jessica, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you spending the time. Jess, you've been here for 2.5 hours. It's
Such a
been
trooper.
awesome. Rhiannon, you've been here for a long time as well. Matt, you left, you came back. You spent about an hour here as well.
I kept my promise. I came back. Yeah.
Well, we
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
And,
it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
and finally, thank you, Leo, for sticking it out for 3 hours on your day off.
Yeah, it's
got to work early with your coffee, and
yeah, it took half a day today from my day job, and I was a samurai for a bit with a new Ghost of Tsushima.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you. You guys are too.
Yes. So, anyways, see, dude, God, this is I cannot podcast
To
for
say
3
you
hours.
do?
I don't know how to word anymore. Look above or below the link to the Indiegogo campaign that is currently running. Just started today. Give this movie your dollars. I swear to God, you will not regret it.
Somebody out there is going to have the 1997 to get killed by Stormy in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a deal. For less than $2,000, you can get killed by Stormy Daniels in a movie. And if you
might even live to tell
Tell
about
about it.
yeah, you guys both said it at the same time.
Great minds think alike. Wow.
And I'm gonna write it, so that'll be even more interesting.
Ooh.
There's so many people involved in this. Like
So
that's
much
Send it in.
Use a red pen, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lee,
Cool.
you want to take us home?
Yeah. So I want to thank you all for watching this evening, and definitely check out the show notes for all our information there and our awesome guests. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.